The Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations present Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the air in The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Ladies and gentlemen, the director of the Mercury Theater and star of these broadcasts, Orson Welles.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man's, and yet as mortal as his own. We know now that as human beings busied themselves about their various concerns, they were scrutinized and studied, perhaps almost as narrowly as a man with a microscope might scrutinize the transient creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. With infinite complacence, people went to and fro over the earth about their little affairs, serene in the assurance of their dominion over this small, spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or design, man has inherited out of the dark mystery of time and space. Yet across an immense ethereal gulf, minds that are to our minds as ours are to the beasts in the jungle, intellects, vast, cool, and unsympathetic, regarded this earth with envious eyes and slowly and surely drew their plans against us. In the 39th year of the 20th century came the Great Disillusionment. Near the end of October, business was better. The war scare was over. More men were back at work. Sales were picking up. On this particular evening, October 30th, the Crosley service estimated that 32 million people were listening in on radios.
Next 24 hours, not much change in temperature. A slight atmospheric disturbance of undetermined origin is reported over Nova Scotia, causing a low-pressure area to move down rather rapidly over the northeastern states, bringing a forecast of rain accompanied by wind of light gale force. Maximum temperature 66, minimum 48. This weather report comes to you from the Government Weather Bureau. We take you now to the Meridian Room in the Hotel Park Plaza in downtown New York, where you will be entertained by the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. From the Meridian Room in the Park Plaza Hotel in New York City, we bring you the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra. With a touch of the Spanish, Raymond Raquello leads off with La Comparsita.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. At 20 minutes before 8 Central Time, Professor Farrell of the Mount Jennings Observatory, Chicago, Illinois, reports observing several explosions of incandescent gas occurring at regular intervals on the planet Mars. The spectroscope indicates the gas to be hydrogen and moving toward the Earth with enormous velocity. Professor Pearson of the observatory at Princeton confirms Farrell's observation and describes the phenomenon as, quote, like a jet of blue flame shot from a gun, unquote. We now return you to the music of Raymond Raquello, playing for you in the Meridian Room of the Park Plaza Hotel, situated in downtown New York.
And now a tune that never loses favor, the ever-popular Stardust, Raymond Raquello and his orchestra.
Ladies and gentlemen, following on the news given in our bulletin a moment ago, the Government Meteorological Bureau has requested the large observatories of the country to keep an astronomical watch on any further disturbances occurring on the planet Mars. Due to the unusual nature of this occurrence, we have arranged an interview with a noted astronomer, Professor Pearson, who will give us his views on this event. In a few moments, we will take you to the Princeton Observatory at Princeton, New Jersey. We return you until then to the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra. We are ready now to take you to the Princeton Observatory at Princeton, where Carl Phillips, our commentator, will interview Professor Richard Pearson, famous astronomer. We take you now to Princeton, New Jersey.
Carl Phillips speaking to you from the observatory at Princeton. I'm standing in a large semicircular room, pitch black except for an oblong split in the ceiling. Through this opening, I can see a sprinkling of stars that cast a kind of frosty glow over the intricate mechanism of the huge telescope. The ticking sound you hear is the vibration of the clockwork. Professor Pearson stands directly above me on a small platform, peering through the giant lens. I ask you to be patient, ladies and gentlemen, during any delay that may arise during our interview. Besides the ceaseless watch of the heavens, Professor Pearson may be interrupted by telephone or other communications. During this period, he is in constant touch with the astronomical centers of the world. Professor, may I begin our questions?
At any time, Mr. Phillips.
Professor, would you please tell our radio audience exactly what you see as you observe the planet Mars through your telescope?
Nothing unusual at the moment, Mr. Phillips. A red disk swimming in a blue sea. Transverse stripes across the disk. Quite distinct now because Mars happens to be at the point nearest the Earth, in opposition, as we call it.
In your opinion, what do these transverse stripes signify, Professor?
Not canals, I can assure you, Mr. Phillips. Although that's the popular conjecture of those who imagine Mars to be inhabited. From a scientific viewpoint, the stripes are merely the result of atmospheric conditions peculiar to the planet.
Then you're quite convinced, as a scientist, that living intelligence as we know it does not exist on Mars?
I'd say the chances against it are 1,000 to 1.
And yet, how do you account for these gas eruptions occurring on the surface of the planet at regular intervals?
Phillips, I cannot account for it.
By the way, Professor, for the benefit of our listeners, how far is Mars from the Earth?
Approximately 40 million miles.
Well, that seems a safe enough distance. Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Someone has just handed Professor Pearson a message. While he reads it, let me remind you that we are speaking to you from the observatory in Princeton, New Jersey, where we are interviewing the world-famous astronomer, Professor Pearson. One moment, please. Professor Pearson has passed me a message which he has just received. Professor, may I read the message to the listening audience?
Certainly, Mr. Phillips.
Ladies and gentlemen, I shall read you a wire addressed to Professor Pearson from Dr. Gray of the Natural History Museum, New York. Quote, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Seismograph registered shock of almost earthquake intensity occurring within a radius of 20 miles of Princeton. Please investigate. Signed, Lloyd Gray, Chief of Astronomical Division. Unquote. Professor Pearson, could this occurrence possibly have something to do with the disturbances observed on the planet Mars?
Hardly, Mr. Phillips. This is probably a meteorite of unusual size, and its arrival at this particular time is merely a coincidence. However, we shall conduct a search as soon as daylight permits.
Thank you, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past 10 minutes, we've been speaking to you from the observatory at Princeton, bringing you a special interview with Professor Pearson, noted astronomer. This is Carl Phillips speaking. We are returning you now to our New York studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the latest bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. Toronto, Canada. Professor Morse of Macmillan University reports observing a total of 3 explosions on the planet Mars between the hours of 7:45 p.m. and 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This confirms earlier reports received from American observatories. Now, nearer home, comes a special bulletin from Trenton, New Jersey. It is reported that at 8:50 p.m., a huge flaming object, believed to be a meteorite, fell on a farm in the neighborhood of Grover's Mill, New Jersey, 22 miles from Trenton. The flash in the sky was visible within a radius of several hundred miles, and the noise of the impact was heard as far north as Elizabeth. We have dispatched a special mobile unit to the scene, and we'll have our commentator, Carl Phillips, give you a word picture of the scene as soon as he can reach there from Princeton. In the meantime, we take you to the Hotel Martinet in Brooklyn, where Bobby Millett and his orchestra are offering a program of dance music. you now to Grover's Mill, New Jersey.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carl Phillips again, out at the Wilmot Farm, Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Professor Pearson and myself made the 11 miles from Princeton in 10 minutes. Well, I hardly know where to begin. Painfully, your word takes with a strange scene before my eyes, like something out of a modern Arabian Nights. Well, I just got here. I haven't had a chance to look around yet. I guess that's it. Yes, I guess that's the thing directly in front of me, half buried in a vast pit. Must have struck with terrific force. The ground is covered with splinters of a tree. It must have struck on its way down. But I can see the object itself doesn't look very much like a meteor. At least not the meteors I've seen. It looks more like a huge cylinder. Has a diameter of, what would you say, Professor Pearson?
What's that?
What would you say, what's the diameter of this?
About 30 yards.
About 30 yards. The metal on the sheath is, well, I've never seen anything like it. The color is sort of yellowish white. There's curious spectators now are pressing close to the object in spite of the efforts of the police to keep them back, getting in front of my line. Would you mind standing one side, please? While the police pushing the crowd back. Here's Mr. Wilmot, owner of the farm here. He may have some interesting facts to add. Mr. Wilmot, would you please tell the radio audience as much as you remember of this rather unusual visitor that stopped in your backyard? Step closer, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Wilmot.
Well, I was listening to the radio.
Closer and louder, please.
Pardon me?
Louder, please, closer.
Yes. I was listening to the radio and kind of drowsy. That professor fellow was talking about Mars, so I was half dozing and half...
Yes, Mr. Wilmot, and then what happened?
Well, as I was saying, I was listening to the radio, kind of halfway.
Yes, Mr. Wilmot, and then you saw something.
Well, not first off. I heard something.
And what did you hear?
A hissing sound like this. Kind of like a 4th of July rocket.
Yes, then what?
I turned my head out the window and would have sworn I was asleep and dreaming.
Yes?
I seen a kind of greenish streak and then zingo. Something smacked the ground, knocked me clear out of my chair.
Well, were you frightened, Mr. Wilmot?
Well, I ain't quite sure. I reckon I was kind of riled.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wilmot. Thank you very much.
You want me to tell
No, that's quite all right. That's plenty. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard Mr. Wilmot, owner of the farm where this thing has fallen. I wish I could convey the atmosphere, the background of this fantastic scene. Hundreds of cars are parked in a field in back of us, and the police are trying to rope off the roadway leading into the farm, but it's no use. They're breaking right through. Cars' headlights throw an enormous spotlight on the pit where the object's half buried. Now, some of the more daring souls now are venturing near the edge. Their silhouettes stand out against the metal shield. One man wants to touch the thing. He's having an argument with the policeman. The policeman wins. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's something I haven't mentioned in all this excitement, but it's becoming more distinct. Perhaps you've caught it already on your radio. Listen, please. Do you hear it? The curious humming sound that seems to come from inside the object. I'll move the microphone nearer. Here. Now, we're not more than 25 feet away. Can you hear it now? Professor Pearson?
Yes,
can you tell us the meaning of that scraping noise inside the thing?
Possibly the unequal cooling of its surface.
I say, do you still think it's a meteor, Professor?
I don't know what to think. The metal casing is definitely extraterrestrial. Not found on this Earth. Friction with the Earth's atmosphere usually tears holes in a meteorite. This thing is smooth, and you can see its cylindrical shape.
Something's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific. This end of the thing is beginning to flake off. The top is beginning to rotate like a screw, and this thing must be hollow.
He's moving. Keep back there. Keep those men back. Keep back there. Keep those idiots back. Take off. The top flew. Go down. Stand back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever witnessed. Wait a minute. Something I can see coming out of that black hole through luminous discs. The eyes, it might be a face, might be almost... But heavens, something wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one, and another one, and another one. They look like tentacles to me. Oh, yeah, I can see the thing's body now. It's large as a bear. It's glittering like wet leather, but that face, ladies and gentlemen, to describe it, but I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. It's so awful. The eyes are black, and they gleam like a serpent. The mouth is kind of V-shaped with saliva dripping from its rimless lips. It seemed to, quiver.
We are bringing you an eyewitness account of what's happening on the Wilmot Farm, Grover's Mill, New Jersey. We now return you to Carl Phillips at Grover's Mill.
Ladies and gentlemen, am I on? Ladies and gentlemen, Ladies and gentlemen, here I am, back of a stone wall that adjoins Mr. Wilmer's garden. From here, I get a sweep of the whole scene. I'll give you every detail as long as I can talk and as long as I can see. More state police have arrived. They're drawing up a cordon in front of the pit. About 30 of them. No need to push the crowd back now. They're willing to keep their distance. The captain is conferring with someone. Can't quite see who. Oh, yes, I believe it's Professor Pearson. Yes, it is. Now they've parted, and the professor moves around one side, studying the object while the captain and two policemen advance with something in their hands. I can see it now. It's a white handkerchief tied to a pole. Flag of truce. If those creatures know what that means, what anything means. Wait a minute, something's happening. Some shape is rising out of the pit. I can make out a small beam of light against a mirror. What's that? There's a jet of flame springing from the mirror, and it leaps right at the advancing men. It strikes them head on. Lord, they're turning into flames. The whole field caught up by the woods, the barns, the gas tanks of the automobiles spreading everywhere. Coming this way now, about 20 yards to my right.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to continue the broadcast from Grover's Mill. Evidently, there's some difficulty with our field transmission. However, we will return to that point at the earliest opportunity. In the meantime, we have a late bulletin from San Diego, California. Professor Indelkoffer, speaking at a dinner of the California Astronomical Society, expressed the opinion that the explosions on Mars are undoubtedly nothing more than severe volcanic disturbances on the surface of the planet. We continue now with our piano interlude.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been handed a message that came in from Grover's Mill by telephone. Just one moment, please. At least 40 people, including 6 state troopers, lie dead in a field east of the village of Grover's Mill. Their bodies burned and distorted beyond all possible recognition. The next voice you hear will be that of Brigadier General Montgomery Smith, commander of the state militia at Trenton, New Jersey.
I have been requested by the governor of New Jersey to place the counties of Mercer and Middlesex as far west as Princeton and east to Jamesburg under martial law. No one will be permitted to enter this area except by special pass issued by state or military authorities. 4 companies of state militia are proceeding from Trenton to Grover's Mill and will aid in the evacuation of homes within the range of military operations. Thank you.
You have just been listening to General Montgomery Smith, commanding the state militia at Trenton. In the meantime, further details of the catastrophe at Grover's Mill are coming in. The strange creatures, after unleashing their deadly assault, crawled back in their pit and made no attempt to prevent the efforts of the firemen to recover the bodies and extinguish the fire. The combined fire departments of Mercer County are fighting the flames which menace the entire countryside. We have been unable to establish any contact with our mobile unit at Grover's Mill, but we hope to be able to return you there at the earliest possible moment. In the meantime, we take you to... Just one moment, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been informed that we have finally established communication with an eyewitness of the tragedy. Professor Pearson has been located at a farmhouse near Grover's Mill, where he has established an emergency observation post. As a scientist, he will give you his explanation of the calamity. The next voice you hear will be that of Professor Pearson, brought to you by direct wire. Professor Pearson.
Of the creatures in the rocket cylinder at Grover's Mill, I can give you no authoritative information, either as to their nature, their origin, or their purposes here on Earth. Of their destructive instrument, I might venture some conjectural explanation. For want of a better term, I shall refer to the mysterious weapon as a heat ray. It's all too evident that these creatures have scientific knowledge far in advance of our own. It's my guess that in some way they are able to generate an intense heat in a chamber of practically absolute non-conductivity. This intense heat they project in a parallel beam against any object they choose by means of a polished parabolic mirror of unknown composition, much as the mirror of a lighthouse projects a beam of light. That is my conjecture of the origin of the heat ray.
Thank you, Professor Pearson. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a bulletin from Trenton. It is a brief statement informing us that the charred body of Carl Phillips has been identified in the Trenton Hospital. Now here's another bulletin from Washington, D.C. The Office of the Director of the National Red Cross reports 10 units of Red Cross emergency workers have been assigned to the headquarters of the state militia, stationed outside of Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Here's a bulletin from State Police, Princeton Junction. The fires at Grover's Mill and vicinity are now under control. Scouts report all quiet in the pit, and there is no sign of life appearing from the mouth of the cylinder. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special statement from headquarters of the state militia near Grover's Mill, New Jersey.
This is Captain Lansing of the Signal Corps, attached to the state militia, now engaged in military operations in the vicinity of Grover's Mill. Situation arising from the reported presence of certain individuals of unidentified nature is now under complete control. The cylindrical object, which lies in a pit directly below our position, surrounded on all sides by 8 battalions of infantry, without heavy field pieces, but adequately armed with rifles and machine guns. All cause for alarm, if such cause ever existed, is now entirely unjustified. Things, whatever they are, do not even venture to poke their heads above the pit. I can see their hiding place plainly in the glare of the searchlights here. With all their reported resources, these creatures can scarcely stand up against heavy machine gun fire. Anyway, it's an interesting outing for the troops. I can make out their khaki uniforms crossing back and forth in front of the lights. Looks almost like a real war. There appears to be some slight smoke in the woods bordering the Millstone River. Probably fire started by campers. Well, we ought to see some action soon. One of the companies is deploying on the left flank. A quick thrust and it'll all be over. Oh, wait a minute. I see something on top of the cylinder. No, it's nothing but a shadow. Now the troops are on the edge of the Wilmot Farm. 7,000 armed men closing in on an old metal tube. A tub, rather. Well, wait, that wasn't a shadow. It's something moving. Solid metal, kind of a shield-like affair rising up out of the cylinder. It's going higher and higher. What? It's standing on legs, actually rearing up on a sort of metal framework. Now it's reaching above the trees and the searchlights are on it. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a grave announcement to make. Incredible as it may seem, both the observations of science and the evidence of our eyes lead to the inescapable assumption that those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmlands tonight are the vanguard of an invading army from the planet Mars. The battle which took place tonight at Grover Mills has ended in one of the most startling defeats ever suffered by an army in modern times. 7,000 men armed with rifles and machine guns pitted against a single fighting machine of the invaders from Mars. 120 known survivors. The rest strewn over the battle area from Grover's Mill to Plainsboro, crushed and trampled to death under the metal feet of the monster, or burned to cinders by its heat ray. The monster is now in control of the middle section of New Jersey and has effectively cut the state through its center. Communication lines are down from Pennsylvania to the Atlantic Ocean. Railroad tracks are torn and service from New York to Philadelphia discontinued, except routing some of the trains through Allerton and Phoenixville. Highways to the north, south, and west are clogged with frantic human traffic. Police and army reserves are unable to control the mad flight. By morning, the fugitives will have swelled Philadelphia, Camden, and Trenton. It is estimated to twice their normal population. Martial law prevails throughout New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania. At this time, we take you to Washington for a special broadcast on the national emergency. The Secretary of the Interior.
Citizens of the nation, I shall not try to conceal the gravity of the situation that confronts the country, nor the concern of your government in protecting the lives and property of its people. However, I wish to impress upon you, private citizens and public officials, all of you, the urgent need of calm and resourceful action. Fortunately, this formidable enemy is still confined to a comparatively small area, and we may place our faith in the military forces to keep them there. In the meantime, placing our faith in God, we must continue the performance of our duties, each and every one of us, so that we may confront this destructive adversary with a nation united, courageous, and consecrated to the preservation of human supremacy on this earth. I thank you.
You have just heard the Secretary of the Interior speaking from Washington. Bulletins too numerous to read are piling up in the studio here. We're informed that the central portion of New Jersey is blacked out from radio communication due to the effect of the heat ray upon power lines and electrical equipment. Here's a special bulletin in New York. Cables have been received from English, French, and German scientific bodies offering assistance. Astronomers report continued gas outbursts at regular intervals on the planet Mars. The majority voiced the opinion that the enemy will be reinforced by additional rocket machines. There have been several attempts made to locate Professor Pearson of Princeton, who has observed Martians at close range. It is feared he was lost in the recent battle. Langham Field, Virginia. Scouting planes report 3 Martian machines visible above treetops, moving north toward Somerville with population fleeing ahead of them. The heat ray is not in use, although advancing at express train speed. Invaders pick their way carefully. They seem to be making a conscious effort to avoid destruction of cities and countryside. However, they stop to uproot power lines, bridges, and railroad tracks. Their apparent objective is to crush resistance, paralyze communication, and disorganize human society. Here is a bulletin from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. Coon hunters have stumbled on a second cylinder similar to the first, embedded in the Great Swamp 20 miles south of Morristown. Army field pieces are proceeding from Newark to blow up the second invading unit before the cylinder can be opened and the fighting machine rigged. They're taking up a position in the foothills of Watchung Mountains. Another bulletin from Langham Field, Virginia. Scouting planes report enemy machines, now 3 in number, increasing speed northward, kicking over houses and trees in their evident haste to form a conjunction with their allies south of Morristown. Machines also sighted by telephone operator east of Middlesex within 10 miles of Plainfield. Here's a bulletin from Winston-Field, Long Island. A fleet of Army bombers carrying heavy explosives flying north in pursuit of enemy. Scouting planes act as guides. They keep the speeding enemy in sight. Just a moment, please, ladies and gentlemen. We've run special wires to the artillery line and adjacent villages to give you direct reports from the zone of the advancing enemy. First, we take you to the battery of the 22nd Field Artillery, located in the Watchung Mountains.
Range 32 meters.
32 meters.
Projection 39 degrees.
39 degrees.
Fire.
140 yards to the right, sir.
Shift range 31 meters.
31 meters.
Projection 37 degrees.
37 degrees.
Fire.
Hit that. Got the tripod of one of them. They're stopped. The others are trying to repair it.
Quick, get the range. Shift 30 meters.
30 meters.
Projection 27 degrees.
27 degrees.
Fire.
Can't see the shell lamp, sir. Letting off a smoke.
What is it?
Black smoke, sir. Moving this way. Lying close to the ground. Moving fast.
Put on gas mask. Get ready to fire. Shift to 24 meters.
24 meters.
Projection 24 degrees.
24 degrees.
Fire.
There can't see, sir. Smoke's coming nearer.
Get the range.
53 meters.
23 meters.
23 meters. 22.
Enemy tripod machines now in sight. Reinforced by 3 machines from the Morristown cylinder. 6 altogether. 1 machine partially crippled. Believed hit by shell from Army gun in Watchung Mountains. Guns now appear silent. A heavy black fog hanging close to the earth of extreme density, nature unknown. No sign of heat ray. Enemy now turns east, crossing Passaic River into the Jersey marshes. Another straddles the Pulaski Skyway. Evident objective is New York City. They're pushing down a high-tension power station. Machines are close together now, and we're ready to attack. Planes circling, ready to strike. 1,000 yards, and we'll be over the first. 800 yards. 600. 400. 200. There they go. Giant arm raised. Green flash. Spraying us with flame. 2,000 feet. Engines are giving out. No chance to release bombs. Only one thing left. Drop on them, plane and all. We're diving on the first one. Now the engine's gone. 8.
This is Bayonne, New Jersey, calling Langham Field. This is Bayonne, New Jersey, calling Langham Field. Come in, please.
This is Langham Field. Go ahead.
8 Army bombers in engagement with enemy tripod machines over Jersey Flats. Engines incapacitated by heat ray. All crashed. 1 enemy machine destroyed. Enemy now discharging heavy black smoke in direction of...
This is Newark, New Jersey. This is Newark, New Jersey. Warning. Poisonous black smoke pouring in from Jersey marshes. Reaches South Street. Gas masks useless. Urge population to move into open spaces. Automobiles use routes 7, 23, 24. Avoid congested areas. Smoke now spreading over Raymond Boulevard.
2X2L calling CQ, 2X2L calling CQ, 2X2L calling 8X3R. Come in, please.
This is 8X3R coming back at 2X2L.
How's reception? How's reception? Okay, please. Where are you, 8X3R? What's the matter? Where are you?
I'm speaking from the roof of Broadcasting Building. I'm speaking from the roof of Broadcasting Building, New York City. The bells you hear are ringing to warn the people to evacuate the city as the Martians approach. Estimated in the last 2 hours, 3 million people have moved out along the roads to the north. Hutchison River Parkway still kept open for motor traffic. Avoid bridges to Long Island, hopelessly jammed. All communication with Jersey Shore closed 10 minutes ago. No more defenses. Our army is wiped out. Artillery, Air Force, everything wiped out. This may be the last broadcast. We'll stay here to the end. People are holding service here below us in the cathedral. Now I look down the harbor, all manner of boats, overloaded with fleeing population pulling out from docks. Streets are all jammed. Noise and crowds like New Year's Eve in city. Wait a minute, the enemy is now in sight above the Palisades. Five great machines. First one is crossing the river. I can see it from here, wading the Hudson like a man wading through a brook. A bulletin is handed me. Martian cylinders are falling all over the country. One outside of Buffalo, one in Chicago, St. Louis. Seem to be time and space. Now the first machine reaches the shore. He stands watching, looking over the city. His steel, cowlish head is even with the skyscrapers. He waits for the others. They rise like a line of new towers on the city's west side. Now they're lifting their metal hands. This is the end now. Smoke comes out, black smoke drifting over the city. People in the streets see it now. They're running toward the East River, thousands of them, dropping in like rats. Now the smoke's spreading faster. It's reached Times Square. People are trying to run away from it, but it's no use. They're falling like flies. Now the smoke's crossing 6th Avenue. 5th Avenue. 100 yards away. It's 50 feet.
Calling say kill. 2X2L calling say kill. 2X2L calling say kill New York. Isn't there anyone on the air? Isn't there anyone on the air? Isn't there anyone? 2X2L.
You are listening to a CBS presentation of Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air in an original dramatization of The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. The performance will continue after a brief intermission. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, starring Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air.
As I set down these notes on paper, I'm obsessed by the thought that I may be the last living man on Earth. I've been hiding in this empty house near Grover's Mill, a small island of daylight cut off by the black smoke from the rest of the world. All that happened before the arrival of these monstrous creatures in the world now seems part of another life. A life that has no continuity with the present. furtive existence of the lonely derelict who pencils these words on the back of some astronomical notes bearing the signature of Richard Pearson. I look down at my blackened hand, and I try to connect them with a professor who lives at Princeton and who, on the night of October 20th, glimpsed through his telescope an orange splash of light on a distant planet. My wife, my colleagues, my students, my books, my observatory, my world. Where are they? Did they ever exist? Am I Richard Pearson? What day is it? Do days exist without calendars? Does time pass when there are no human hands left to wind the clocks? In writing down my daily life, I tell myself I shall preserve human history between the dark covers of this little book that was meant to record the movements of the stars. But to write, I must live, and to live, I must eat. Find molded bread in the kitchen and an orange not too spoiled to swallow. Keep watch at the window. Time to time, I catch sight of a Martian above the black smoke. Smoke still holds the house in its black coil, but at length there's a hissing sound, and suddenly I see a Martian mounted on his machine, spraying the air with a jet of steam as if to dissipate the smoke. I watch in a corner as his huge metal legs nearly brush against the house. Exhausted by terror, I fall asleep. Morning. Morning. Sun streams in the window. The black cloud of gas is lifted, and the scorched meadows to the north look as though a black snowstorm had passed over them. I venture from the house. I make my way to a road, no traffic. Here and there, a wrecked car, baggage overturned, a blackened skeleton. Push on north. For some reason, I feel safer trailing these monsters than running away from them. And I keep a careful watch. I've seen the Martians feed. Should one of their machines appear over the top of trees, I'm ready to fling myself flat on the earth. Come to a chestnut tree. October. Chestnuts are ripe. Fill my pockets. I must keep alive. 2 days I wander in a vague northerly direction through a desolate world. Finally, I notice a living creature. A small red squirrel in a beech tree. I stare at him and wonder. He stares back at me. I believe at that moment the animal and I shared the same emotion. The joy of finding another living being. Push on north. I find dead cows in a brackish field, and beyond the charred ruins of a dairy and a silo, remain standing guard over the wasteland like a lighthouse. Deserted by the sea. Astride the silo perches a weathercock. The arrow points north. North. Next day, I come to a city. City vaguely familiar in its contours, yet its buildings strangely dwarfed and leveled off as if a giant had sliced off its highest towers with a capricious sweep of his hand. Reached the outskirts, I found Newark. Newark, undemolished but humbled by some whim of the advancing Martians. Presently, with an odd feeling of being watched, I caught sight of something crouching in a doorway. I made a step towards it. It rose up and became a man. A man armed with a large knife.
Stop! Where do you come from?
Oh, I come from many places. A long time ago, from Princeton.
Princeton, huh? That's near Grover's Mill.
Yes.
Grover's Mill. There's no food here. This is my country. All this end of town down the river. There's only food for one. Which way are you going?
I don't know. I guess I'm looking for people.
Hey, what was that? Did you hear something just then?
No. Only a bird. A live bird.
You get to know that birds have shadows these days. Say, we're in the open here. Let's crawl in this doorway here and talk.
Have you seen any Martians?
No. They're going over to New York. Night, the sky's alive with their lights, just as if people were still living in it. By daylight, you can't see them. 5 days ago, a couple of them carried something big across the flats from the airport. I think they're learning how to fly.
Fly?
Yeah, fly.
Well, it's all over with humanity. Stranger, there's still you and I. 2 of us left.
Yeah. They got themselves in solid. They wrecked the greatest country in the world. Those green stars, they're probably falling somewhere every night. They've only lost one machine. There isn't anything to do. We're done. We're licked.
Where were you? You're in a uniform.
Yeah, what's left of it. I was in the militia. National Guard. That's good. There wasn't any war. Any more than there's war between men and ants.
Yes, but we're eatable ants. I found that out. What'll they do to us?
I thought it all out. Right now, we're caught as we're wanted. The Martian only has to go a few miles to get a crowd on the run. But they won't keep on doing that. They'll begin catching us systematic, like keeping the best and storing us in cages and things. They haven't begun on us yet.
Not begun?
Not begun. All that's happened so far is because we don't have sense enough to keep quiet. Bothering them with guns and such stuff and losing our heads and rushing off in crowds. No, instead of our rushing around blind, we got to fix ourselves up. Fix ourselves up according to the way things are now. Cities, nations, civilization, progress.
Yes, but if that's so, what is there to live for?
Well, there won't be any more concerts for 1,000,000 years or so, and no nice little dinners at restaurants. If it's amusement you're after, I guess the game's up.
What is there left?
Life, that's what. I want to live. Yeah, and so do you. We're not going to be exterminated. And I don't mean to be caught either. Tamed and fattened and bred like an ox.
What are you going to do?
I'm going on. Right under their feet. I got a plan. We men, as men, we're finished. We don't know enough. We got to learn plenty before we get a chance. We've got to live and keep free while we learn, see? I've thought it all out, see?
Well, tell me the rest.
Well, it isn't all of us that are made for wild beasts. That's what it got to be. That's why I watched you. Watched you. All those little office workers that used to live in these houses. They be no good. They haven't any stuff in them. They used to run off to work. I've seen hundreds of them running to catch their commuter's train in the morning, afraid they'd get canned if they didn't. Running back at night, afraid they wouldn't be in time for dinner. Lives insured and a little invested in case of accidents. Yeah, and on Sundays, worried about the hereafter. Well, the Martians, they'll be a godsend for those guys. Nice, roomy cages, good food, careful breeding, no worries. Yeah, after a week or so of chasing around the fields on empty stomachs, they'll come and be glad to be caught.
You've thought it all out, haven't you?
Sure, you bet I have. That isn't all. These Martians are going to make pets of some. Train them to do tricks. Who knows, get sentimental over the pet boy who grew up and had to be killed. Yeah, and some maybe, they'll train to hunt us.
Oh, no, it's impossible. Human
Yes, they will. There's men who do it gladly. If one of them ever comes after me, by...
In the meantime, you and I and others like us, where are we to live when the Martians own the Earth?
I got it all figured out. Live underground. I've been thinking about the sewers. Under New York, there are miles and miles of them. The main ones, they're big enough for anybody. And there's cellars, vaults, underground storerooms, railway tunnels, subways. You begin to see, huh? We got a bunch of strong men together. No weakness. That rubbish, out.
As you meant me to go.
All right. Give you a chance, didn't I?
Won't quarrel about that. Go on.
Well, we got to make safe places for us to stay in, see? Get all the books we can. Science books. That's where men like you come in, see? We raid the museums. We'll even spy on the Martians. May not be so much we have to learn before... Just imagine this. 4 or 5 of their own fighting machines suddenly start off. Heat rays right and left. Not a Martian in them. Not a Martian in them, see? But men. Men who've learned the way how. May even be in our time. Gee. Imagine having one of them lovely things with a heat ray wide and free. We'd turn it on Martians. We'd turn it on men. We'd bring everybody down on their knees.
That's your plan.
Yeah. You, me, a few more of us. We'd own the world.
I see.
Hey. Hey, what's the matter? Where are you going?
Not to your world. Bye, stranger. Well, after parting with the artilleryman, I came at last to the Holland Tunnel. I entered that silent tube. Anxious to know the fate of the great city on the other side of the Hudson. Cautiously, I came out of the tunnel and made my way up Canal Street. Reached 14th Street, and there again were black powder and several bodies and an evil, ominous smell from the gratings of the cellars of some of the houses. I wandered up through the 30s and 40s, stood alone on Times Square, caught sight of a lean dog running down 7th Avenue with a piece of dark brown meat in his jaws and a pack of starving mongrels at his heels. Made a wide circle around me as though he feared I might prove a fresh competitor. Walked up Broadway in the direction of that strange powder, past silent shop windows, displaying their mute wares to empty sidewalks. Past the Capitol Theater, silent, dark. Past a shooting gallery where a row of empty guns faced an arrested line of wooden ducks. Near Columbus Circle, I noticed models of 1939 motor cars in the showrooms facing empty streets. Over the top of the General Motors building, I watched a flock of black birds circling in the sky. Hurried on. Suddenly, I caught sight of the hood of a Martian machine, standing somewhere in Central Park, gleaming in the late afternoon sun. An insane idea. I rushed recklessly across Columbus Circle and into the park. I climbed a small hill above the pond at 60th Street, and from there I could see standing in a silent row along the mall 19 of those great metal titans, their cowls empty, their steel arms hanging listlessly by their sides. I looked in vain for the monsters that inhabit those machines. Suddenly, my eyes were attracted to the immense flock of black birds that hovered directly below me. They circled to the ground. And there before my eyes, stark and silent, lay the Martians with the hungry birds pecking and tearing brown shreds of flesh from their dead bodies. Later, when their bodies were examined in laboratories, it was found that they were killed by the putrefactive and disease bacteria against which their systems were unprepared. Slain, after all, man's defenses had failed by the humblest thing that God, as wisdom, has put upon this earth. Before the cylinder fell, there was a general persuasion that through all the deep of space, no life existed beyond the petty surface of our minute sphere. Now we see further. Dim and wonderful is the vision I've conjured up in my mind of life spreading slowly from this little seedbed of the solar system throughout the inanimate vastnesses of sidereal space. But a remote dream, maybe. Maybe that the destruction of the Martians is only a reprieve to them and not to us. The future ordained, perhaps. Strange it now seems to sit in my peaceful study in Princeton, writing down this last chapter of the record, begun at a deserted farm in Grover's Mill. Strange to watch children playing in the streets. Strange to see young people strolling on the green where the new spring grass heals the last black scars of a bruised earth. Strange to watch the sightseers enter the museum where the disassembled parts of a Martian machine are kept on public view. Strange when I recall the time when I first saw it. Bright and clean-cut, hard and silent under the dawn of that last great day. This is Orson Welles, ladies and gentlemen, out of character, to assure you that the War of the Worlds has no further significance than as the holiday.
Check, 1, 2, 3, fuck it.
And good morning, weirdos. What's going on? I seem to be plagued once again by technical difficulties. My computer is running really strong and fast, and then it craps out, and it's absolutely dead. And then it goes really fast, and then it's dead. And then it's really fast, and then it's dead. Kind of like me. Yeah, anyway, I'm here. I'm live. I'm here. I'm weird. Get used to it, baby. That's all I can say about that. That was, if you were listening or trying to listen this morning, we were playing for you a repeat of Halloween Night, originally broadcast on NBC Radio way back when, in 1938 on October 30th. War of the Worlds, from the Mercury Theater on the air with your very talented and creative director of the theater, Orson Welles, doing an H.G. Wells, no relation, story. It was a fantastic experiment in radio, and they didn't even know it. They didn't even know it when they were doing it. Maybe they did. Maybe he knew. Maybe he knew inside that he was actually going to cause that panic. Maybe he knew. Of course, he seemed to know nothing about it. On the 30th of October 1938, when this was originally broadcast, the War of the Worlds, it was too real. Americans were still pretty dumb. They were pretty much yokels. They didn't know much. They knew a little movie, a little radio. The majority of humans on the planet in 1938 weren't really that bright compared to today's normal people. Most of the people were pretty rural farmer type. Yeah, they'd have like one book in the house. They might have a radio. More than likely, they've got some kind of musical instrument in the house, and that's their entertainment. So you get this radio broadcast that comes on, and it's broadcast as if it were a real radio broadcast, not a radio show, but more like a regular day of programming, right? So people listening are like, well, this is a little different programming than we're used to. It was Raymond Raquello, right? But it quickly took a left and went weird when they started to involve meteorites and explosions on Mars and stuff. So halfway through the show, there's freaking aliens on the planet destroying, like New Jersey and shit. And people are convinced that it's real, right? They had to, after this happened, Washington, D.C. had to put together a committee to investigate why we would let something like this happen, why we would allow something like this on the radio to cause such panic in the streets. And, was he a communist? I mean, not that there was communism at the time, not 1938, but they were real curious as to what he was trying to do. Was he trying to cause panic in the streets? Was he trying to control, manipulate people into a lot of fear? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll have to look, see if I can find an interview of him discussing it. I doubt there's one available, but there might be, right? Looks like I've got, dozens and dozens, probably 50 educational film type things that I've downloaded. A lot of Native American studies. I still haven't completed everything that I wanted to download, but I'm going to start organizing it into actual weekly programming, which is pretty heavy because It looks like I have enough right now to load up everything through the rest of November, through December, probably into March. I mean, I've got so many educational films. It's just a matter of leaving the holiday weeks open and the holidays open so that I can then program those days specifically for the holiday. That's my only qualm there, is that I want the holiday programming to reflect the holiday. That week of the holiday, it should have an abundance of material dedicated to that holiday. And then on the day itself, it should really be, let's celebrate Christmas. So I'm right now, I think I've got what I want for Thanksgiving. I need to dig up a little bit of more Native American stuff and maybe a little Thanksgiving stuff, but I think I've got what I need for now. Together, you and me, Mr. Sam has decided to be my co-host this morning, so let's see if we can get a little Sam. Here's Sam. He's over here in this little chair, getting covered up, getting tucked in. My little buddy. He's sleepy, so I have to be patient with him. Okay, you want to go back to bed? Let's go back to bed. There you go, buddy. There you go. Duérmete. Duérmete conmigo. You don't want to sleep? I know you want to sleep. I know you want to sleep. Ah, that's my boy. That's my boy. That's my buddy. He really is the best buddy. Yeah. Anyways, let me get back to work, heroes. Let me get back to work, man. So, programming. I got a shitload of programming. Tons of programming. Educational films, old-time radios. I have yet to dig up my old-time radio stuff, the new stuff. I need to create a bunch of these Dimension X dealies, and they're kind of a hard video to create. They take about an hour to process and save, and about an hour to 2 hours to upload onto YouTube, because they're almost 10 gigabytes in size because of the amount of crap that I throw into the video. It's just an old-time radio show, and then I create a video around it. Sometimes it's just a photograph and some text. Sometimes it's an actual video. It depends on the show. What does the show feel like it needs, right? So the Dimension X one, I've kind of gone a little above and beyond. It's only 45 episodes, so it's not like I have to do this a lot. 45 times 10, that's like, 450 gigabytes? But they're, 6 to 10, usually around 8-ish gigabytes. But still, that's a lot. So just this 45 episodes is going to take up, almost a half a terabyte of information. So I know what I want for Christmas. Another computer and another external hard drive. I doubt I'm going to get it. My daughter had been contemplating getting a new computer for school, and so far she just hasn't had the need, really. I mean, her computer's pretty much used up as far as space. She's had to get an external hard drive as well. But she's managing, so I think she's probably just going to go with it and maybe finish off this bachelor's degree with the computer that she got for high school. Right? Wow. She's getting the most out of it, right? She's like her mother. She just wring every cent out of a dollar, you know. I wish I could. I'm horrible with money, you know. Give me $1 and I'll spend $1.50. And be in debt. You give my wife or daughter $1, and they're gonna spend $5 out of that dollar, and still have a quarter left. I don't know how they do it. It's some kind of new math. Yeah. Anyways, I thought I was gonna be canceled, man. I thought my show was gonna get the technical difficulty shuffle, but it seemed to come out of it. It didn't come out of it the other day. Yesterday, it failed miserably, and just kept dying. Yeah. But totally. I gotta warm up my coffee. Why? Because, you know, Holiday Chicken knows I hate cold coffee. Take it away, Ace. You know, I was just thinking the way my life is going physically, I feel like the control subject on some kind of weird science experiment. I don't know why. It's just I get that overwhelming feeling like I'm what you know is the control. You know, nothing is done to help or save me. You know, everybody else is doing all these pills and stuff and getting some kind of weird something out of it. I don't know that they're getting a better quality of life. They might be getting a little more quantity, but I can't guarantee they're getting the quality. Yeah, I just feel like some kind of weird science experiment. But then I've always felt like that. You know, yeah, I'm here. The computer, I think it was, my OBS program was trying to cancel my show. Everything else was working fine, but this program here just kept weirding out. So it reconnected a few times, and it happened to do it before the YouTube thing cut my stream. Ah, jeez. I don't want to get my stream cut. No, really. That would hurt. Did you cut your string or your stream? Yeah. I don't know, man. He's a crazy guy. Hey, Dufo, he's a crazy guy, you know. Hey, you know, man, what are you doing there, guys? Is this guy for real? I think he's for real, man. Excellent, bro. Hey, Marge, he's doing it again. Leave him alone, Harry. At least he's enjoying life. What are you saying? Whoa, dude, she's bagging on you again. Shut up, punk.
Yeah, think about it now. Hear about it later. Go crazy if you can. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. You're from California, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can be governor if you want. You can do it. Excellent. It's most excellent.
Yeah. Holy hell. Where the hell did all that shit come from? The guy's unloading. Who pulled a cork on his bottle?
I had to get it out, man. I just had to get it out. Oh, got to get it out. Sometimes I just don't want to be me so bad. I got to be someone else. Sometimes I got to be 100 someone else's. Most excellent.
Yeah, for sure. I am here from California. Totally, man. Can you dig it? It's gnarly. It's just totally gnarly, man. I love California. I love the way they talk here. They are most excellent people here in California. I love to be the governor. Will you let me be the governor again? I promise not to have a housekeeper. And if I do, I promise not to have sex. I will have a male housekeeper this time. I promise you this. I promise you this.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Joey. How are you today? I'm here to pump you up. Think about it now, forget about it later. Let's get pumped up, you and me. We go to the gym, work out. We get our necks really thick. I want my neck to come all the way out to my shoulders, and I want my shoulders to come all the way out so I cannot fit through the door.
Sorry. I was getting a little Schwarzeneggered up in here.
Whew, man. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when I get too much sleep. Yeah. Way too much sleep.
Too much. It's just crazy.
Maybe it's the weed. I got some new weed. This is more of a sativa, which is kind of a goofy, silly weed. The indica's more for, body, but they didn't have any, and I didn't want to get the expensive stuff, so I got a hybrid that was a little sativa leaning. I was sitting here at the computer for about 3 hours last night, and I didn't. I was here all day long, but after I got this stuff, I took a couple of hits and sat here at the computer for like hours. Wasn't even, didn't even have the urge to get high after that. I wasn't really stoned. It actually does have a decent body high. So let's see, what is on the agenda here today? I've got to do some online work. I've got to get online and go to a couple of websites and do some stuff. I am going to be working on shirt graphics. And one thing I'm going to be doing is, don't tell anyone, is I'm going to be going through the yearbooks that I have here that people have donated to the studio on loan. On temporary loan to the studio. Thank you. Fasha and E-Rat. So let's see. I'm going to be taking the yearbooks, and I'm going to be looking in the backs of the yearbooks to the donor ads, right? The companies and the local establishments who donated to help fund those yearbooks. Aha. And I'm going to be trying to garner some t-shirt material out of that, old defunct businesses that are no longer around. Aha, that'll look great on a t-shirt, right? So cheers. I sat here last night for about 3 hours after spending most of the day going through and collecting, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 4, 6, 8, 30, yeah, so we're looking at about 50 videos, mostly educational films, and then a few highlights, short things to put on the video time machines. Very cool. I don't know where I put this stuff, so I have to go through and combine all of these things onto one file. So I'll be doing that. I'll be doing that big time. Trying to organize all of this stuff and then work all of those movies, educational films, into weekly programming. ARP. And we're looking at least 5 educational films a week. So that's like 100 weeks. No, that can't. 50 videos. 25 weeks? 25 weeks sounds about more, right? I don't know. Somebody help me with the math. How many weeks of stuff do I got? 50 videos at 5 a week. That's, yeah, so that's 10 weeks, I think. Yeah, okay, 50, 10, yeah, that sounds about right. So that's, I'm going to say I got about 10 weeks of programming. Movies. Seems like I should have more than that. Well, 5 weeks is just over a month, right? Month and a week. So, yeah. 10 weeks, that's all. Wow. So now I've got to create 10 weeks worth of, if I do this and upload all of these things, then it'll take me through the holidays. And the only programming I'll have to worry about are the holidays. And gathering stuff specifically for that day. And then deciding if I'm going to do a live show. I know I'm going to do a live or a premiere, a video time machine on Thanksgiving and on Christmas and on New Year's. So creating those, getting them set up to air and premiere on those days at prime time. And then, yeah. Probably going to air them at 5 or premiere them at 5 so that they're 8 on the East Coast, no later than 8 on the East Coast. The video time machines are only about an hour long. So, but I'm going to be out of whatchamacallits, Dimension X before then. So I'm going to have to come up with another episode and get those videos ready. I've got to get these. That's a lot of Dimension X. 300 or so gigabytes of videos. So it's a good thing I've got that hard drive, which is another thing I really need to do is I need to invest time into do the memory shuffle. Right? I'll just write it like that, the memory shuffle. Basically, I've got to take both hard drives off of my external hard drives, move them over to this computer. Because this computer has a lot of room on it, I can take everything that I don't need from the computer, put it on the external hard drive, free up a bunch of memory on the computer so that then I can grab big chunks of gigabytes and move them from one hard drive to another. You need a lot of memory on the computer to do that memory shuffle. So I'll be doing that first. I'll be emptying my computer over here from as much as possible and then freeing it up so that I can do that shuffle over here. And then what I'm going to try to do is move all of my video content from YouTube. Everything that's been finished that I have on my external hard drives should all be moved on to one, and the other one should be used for production. This computer can be used for production, and then it can be moved over to the external. This computer doesn't have much memory, so it needs to have that external hard drive, so when I do any creating over here, it immediately gets moved to that external hard drive. And that external hard drive over here right now is pretty full. So I gotta do the memory shuffle. I gotta just take a whole bunch of stuff from one external and stick it onto another. Period. Oh yeah, baby. 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 So I'll be doing that. That's probably my my main thing for the day, is doing the memory shuffle and starting a new file in the external hard drive, the number 2, the one that's 4 terabytes, sorry. I'll take the 4 terabyte external hard drive, and it will become my archive for uploaded, created content. I'm going to have to get another hard drive to retrieve from YouTube all of my live stuff and save it on an external hard drive. I'm hoping one is going to do it for this year, because I've got a lot of stuff that I've done live. And basically what I want to do is I want to get everything that I am and everything that I've done onto these external hard drives, so that between the external hard drives and a good laptop computer, I will have cataloged most of me, basically. This next year coming up, well, after I get my teeth, that should hopefully, if I'm lucky, get started with the next phase of that, which is pretty much going through everything in my house here and cataloging it all on video, and making decisions as to what I'm going to do with it, either before I do the shuffle myself, or what's going to happen with it when I'm gone. This, this pile of shit here, this goes to this person. This pile of stuff, there's prices on it, sell it. I hope to leave behind a pretty good bank, pretty good bankroll of stuff, right? So this is the year for that, for curating all of that, cataloging it, making it all work, and making it worthy of a price tag that I'm going to throw on it. There you go. We're going to be doing a yard sale this spring, and I may take some of the way extra stuff and get rid of it. Like I've got thousands of records over there, and while I'm getting rid of them, I will be going through them once again. Most of the stuff I probably won't get rid of. I'm probably just going to hold on to everything, price it, and then when I'm gone, then it can be, it's like I always come to the faces of those old people that hoard stuff, right? And they've got their whole lives wrapped up in all of this stuff that surrounds them. Of course, they're living in trash and garbage and stuff because they just, there's something wrong. But it always kills me when I see them crying and pulling their hair out when people are walking away with all of their belongings, right? And they don't really want to get rid of this stuff, but the whole world wants them to conform and get rid of all of this stuff. And their lives are that stuff, It's one thing to come into someone's home and to clean it up and to help them establish a way to organize all the stuff they have and to keep it. But it's another to come in and say, you got to get rid of everything or else. And that just breaks my heart, So thanks to my wife, I don't live in a nasty nightmare But I do have a lot of crap, and it does stack up on the floors. It does stack up on shelves. Things get piled on top of other things. I've got things stuffed under beds and in cubby holes, and I've got stuff everywhere. She helps me to keep it free of, garbage. Some stuff she looks at and goes, "This is trash." I'm going, "No, it's not. It's not trash. It's actually, what are you doing with all these bags? This is trash." "No, these are like vintage bags. You can't throw these away." What is this stack of crap? It's expensive crap. That's what it is. It's when people don't know what they got that they throw away money, right? And I'm not a money guy, but I know the value of stuff historically, personally, some things you just can't throw away. Some things should be gifted to people who know what they are and what they mean. Some things should be just saved and should never be in a landfill. How much good stuff did we put in the landfills 20 years ago and up to now, because we're told that the stuff we're buying now is better, and the stuff we're buying now is crap. It makes it into the landfill 10 times faster than the stuff that we used to put in the landfill. And it's like, well, the stuff they're talking us into putting into the landfills is still good stuff. It might need a little repair, but the things from my day could be repaired, and you could give them another life. Things today, you can't repair a smart TV. It's just fucking piece of shit. Well, buy a new one. That's what they want you to do. Well, just buy a new one. It's cheaper. Landfill. It's crap. It's all the stuff made today is just crap. You turn on your stupid smart TV, and it has to boot up, and then you got to decide through the menu what program you want to boot up, and then you hit that app, and then you boot that app up, and then it's like, oh crap, that app is fucked up today, so I got to go to another app. There must be doing maintenance on their app. So okay, I'm gonna go to regular cable, and I'm gonna watch TV because the game is coming on in a minute. And you go there, and now you got to go to the guide, and you got to do all of this, and now you've already missed kickoff because it's taking you so long to get to the game, right? And then you get to the game, and you're watching the game, and then all of a sudden the app decides to reboot and freeze, and then the TV goes blank, and then the TV reboots, and then it reboots again, and then it reboots your guide, and you have to go there, and you got to go to your guide again, and you got to boot up your app, and then you boot up your app. And because the TV has gone off and on twice, now you got to go back to the guide, and you got to find what channel you were on. And so now you've missed an entire, two downs, 3 downs. I mean, it's like, what the fuck is this bullshit, And your friends are like, "You got the cheap TV, didn't you?" Well, yeah, because even the cheap TVs are too fucking expensive for what they are. Back in the day, I could walk into the house, I could push a button, the TV would come on, I'd go click, click, and I'd be watching the fucking game. Look, kickoff, just in time. Not anymore. Not anymore. Nope. And then if you have internet failure, right, nothing works. Your phones don't work, your apps don't work, your TV don't work, nothing fucking works. Your smart refrigerator don't fucking work, nothing goddamn works. You're just fucked. And ain't that? And we just walked right into that bullshit. It's ridiculous, Consumers are just such pussies now. They just lay down and take anything. Ooh, here, I'll grease my... No, I won't even grease me. Just take me. It's like, come on. Where's David Horowitz? I want to fight back. I'm sick of this shit. I want real products again. I don't want this garbage. I want some companies to come back making real solid state technology that isn't this bullshit. Sure, it might have some of this bullshit integrated into it, but for the most part, it's real shit that's going to last forever. Just get a new one. No, you can't get a new one because this one is the bomb, and you don't want to get a new one. All you need to do is replace this, heat it up with a soldering gun, pull this out, stick in a new one, boom, it's working again. That's the way it used to be. It needs a new belt, It needs a new fuse. It needs this or that. And boom, it's up and running again. Nowadays, it's like, what does it need? I don't know what the fuck it needs. I look back there and all I see is just boards. Who the fuck knows what these boards do? Back in the day, you could open up a tube TV and pull out a tube and go, yeah, this fucking tube's bad. Go down to the TV store, get a new tube, pop that fucker in and be watching TV again. Nope. You know, back when there were magazines like Popular Mechanics, and those magazines would teach you how to do things in your home, how to repair things in your home, because things were repairable back then. Now they're not. Now everything is garbage. You just pick it up, throw it away. That's what you do with it. You know, I'm going to heat up my coffee. Something here. Speaking of Popular Mechanics. Perfect. Here's a catalog. That's a Radio Shack catalog from 1980, 81 or 82. These are Popular Mechanics magazines from the 80s. Right. So these are some Popular Mechanics magazines from the 80s and a catalog from Radio Shack, because Radio Shack is like was the store for the home technician. Popular Mechanics was the book for the home engineer, the home technician, right? If you wanted to do anything in your home, in your yard, in your car, in your house, okay, a couple of these are from 93 and 96, and then two of them are from 1982. And my catalog here is from 1982. It appears as though I was on a 1982 kick and bought 1982 stuff. So, in this catalog here, there are several items that I'd love to have. Pardon me for that sneezer. And there's actually several items in here I do own. The STA 720 stereo. Let's see. There we go. That's this one here. All right, I own one of these. The STA 720. It is semi-functional at this point. I need a few items. I need to open it up and test it and repair a few things in it. What is this? The STA 530, the STA 430, STA 110, STA 850. So I have an STA 52B, I believe, from 1980, I think. And it is a nice stereo. I'd like to have one of these STA 2300s or 2200s or 2100s. The really nice silver face with LED readout, and it's just got a bunch of channels and stuff. It's great. It's a great fucking stereo receiver. That's one I would love to have. Oh, the TM102 and the SA102. That's these two little silver guys here, and I actually own those two. I own two tuners, I believe, and one of the receivers. My daughter is using the receiver right now for her 1979 Sanyo turntable. And it's a really nice turntable that works really, really well. We got her a brand new needle for it, spent like $100 and some to get a new cartridge for it. And she loves it. She uses that thing all the time. She's got a record collection that kicks ass on the record collection that I had at her age. At her age, I didn't have much of a music collection. She's got a kick-ass music collection. Ooh, here's the LAB 395 turntable here. This one here. I've got one of these. It needs the armature on it. So if anybody knows of, you know, some counterweights and balance and stuff for the arms in the end, I need the whole arm. And I need the swivel arm. Right now I've got the straight arm. I need the kind of S-shaped arm. The LAB 440 is a nice one. It's a wood grain. It's kind of the same thing as the LAB 395. Here we go, 10-band equalizer. Okay, so I've got one of these 10-band equalizers as well. Right there we go. So one of these guys here. This keyboard here is actually a synthesizer created especially for Radio Shack by the Moog company, right? If anybody's familiar with the Moog, you know what a Moog is, then you know that to own one of these guys is really, really bodacious. I would love to get one of these. I think they were like $500, brand new. Yeah, $499.95, brand new, right? And with it, you it's like a kick-ass fucking synthesizer in a small package. It does a whole lot of stuff. It's fucking bitchin'. I'd love to own one of those. Let's see. We've got some speakers here. I'd love to get a set of T200s or T100s. The Mach 1s are really nice speakers. They're all these big, giant, bodacious wood grain speakers and stuff. These here are the T200s, and then the T110s next to them. And they're really tall speakers, right? I found a pair, a couple of different pairs in Vegas, but I was like, there's no way I'm driving to Vegas to spend $200. No. I mean, if it was locally, I'd have to talk somebody down. If you look behind me, there's, I've always got behind me my reel-to-reels here. So I've got one directly behind me and then one right here. I've got a bunch of these speakers, these Novas and these MCs and Minimus speakers and stuff. I just got a shitload of them. I've also got a few of these. I've also got a clarinet, which is a clarinet is an all-in-one stereo. The one that I have has got 8-track cassette, turntable, and AM/FM plus input, and it's really nice. I think it's just like missing one knob or something. So anybody with a 3D printer wants to print me some knobs, that would be great. They've got some great portable stuff, right, back in the day. Let's see if I can find one of the other items that I have here. Okay, so there's this this 8-track player, the TR-883, right? I've got one of those. Actually, I've got a couple of those. I've got a Panasonic up here right now. Let me go ahead and go back to the. There we go. Anyway, there's the that 8-track player that I've got, the TR-883. Also, I've got some of the TR-169s. These little single units here. I got a couple of those. I think I've got 3 of them. Where's my cassette? The SCT 32. That's this cassette player here. Yeah, this top one here, the SCT-32. I got 4 of those. One of them I rebuilt. Another one I'm going to rebuild, and I use the other 2 for parts and for a schematic. So as I take one apart, I can look at the other to see how it goes back together. Aha, aha. So, which is why I bought. I'm sorry, it's the SCT-24. That's the one I have. That's this little beauty down here. I've got 4 of those guys. They're really cool little cassette players. Integrate right into your stereo. And let's see, I've got some of these boom boxes. I'm not sure which I have. We're in the cassettes now. And where are the reel-to-reels? That's what I want to go to. I don't see my reel-to-reels. I gotta get back, go 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 back. I don't know. Why am I not seeing it? Did I just not go far enough? Aha, 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 aha. There's some car stereo stuff. Aha. Oh, these switchers. I've got some of these switchers. I've got one of these stereo mixer, DJ mixer things. That's really cool. I'd like to get some of those little clip-on microphones. That'd be neat. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. That's a stereo mixer that I've got. Stereo disco mixer. Well, where is it? I could have swore they had my reel-to-reel in here. I swore. I swear, Mr. Carter, Mr. Carter. What are you going to do, Mr. Carter? Maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I was thinking that it was in this catalog and it's not. It might be a 1980, 81 thing. They only made them for a short period of time, these reel-to-reels, and they were made by Teak. They were actually made by Teak, T-E-A-C company, and specifically for Radio Shack, and they were just great little machines. I have 3 of them. One of them is, I actually have it in the box, and it's just a great machine. I've actually got some of these house clock radio deals too. I love the little clock radios. In fact, I'm going to probably be giving away some clock radios when I do my giveaway for the reunion. I'm going to be doing a reunion giveaway thing at the reunion, so you got to be there to win. You got to be there. 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 So I'll be announcing more about that stuff as I curate little packages to give away, you know. And I won't give any of the surprises away. CB radios, I'd love to get one of them CB radios. Stick in my van. Stick in my van, man. I've got a couple of portable auto stereos. I've got a really nice Craig 8-track player that I want to integrate into my van. So I'll probably be trying to get together with somebody who knows car stereos of the day and can help me. I'm just going to direct wire in, just jump something off of my battery terminal, right? And take a power line, run it into a fuse, an inline fuse, have that run to a switch, right? So I can kill it completely. So power on to the 8-track player. Now that it has power, now it's draining from the battery, bada bing bang boom. And then turn it on, hit a toggle that switches the speakers from one stereo to the other. And then I'm in business, right? That's what I need to figure out. cassette holders, 8-track holders. That's neat. That's totally neat, man. That's cool, man. Ooh, realistic reel-to-reels. These are realistic reel-to-reel tapes and cassette tapes to record. They're blanks, right? I've got a box of these reel-to-reels, a giant, literally a giant box of unused, brand new, unopened reel-to-reels for my machines, because I got 3 of them, so I figure, okay, if I'm going to have 3 machines, I've got to have enough to curate 3 machines, right? Which means I need stuff to listen to for each machine, and I need stuff to record with for each machine. I need microphones for each machine. I need headphones for each machine, and mixers, tape mixers, so I can go from tape to stereo to reel-to-reel to cassette to 8-track, that kind of stuff, and record from one to the other. So I've got those little audio mixers. So I'm trying to put together packages for each thing. What I really need is to find or create covers for these things. And when I mean covers, I mean that it's a rectangular sleeve that fits down over the thing that says realistic on it. But at the same time, on the front, on the passenger side, it's got to have a little slot where it slides down over a reel that's on there. So it's got to have a little hump on the front in this little slot where you slide it down so you can keep your reel for your take-up reel on there. You don't want to have a thing for, because you don't want to cover up 2 tapes. You don't want to cover up a tape. You don't ever want to leave a tape on there. But you do want to slide your thing over and have it cover up your take-up reel too, and not bulge or sit on there cockeyed, or have to take your take-up reel off and set it somewhere. So I want to custom design some covers, and then probably take them down to the shirt place and have them print on, stitch on realistic, right? That'd look sweet. And then curate a whole package for each one, so that if you buy one of these reel-to-reels, you're not just getting the reel-to-reel. You're getting everything that you would have gone, if you'd have gone to Radio Shack and bought this reel-to-reel brand new, what accessories would you have gotten? You'd have gotten headphones, you'd have gotten a microphone, you'd have gotten some tapes to listen to, and some tapes to record your favorite albums, right? That's what I'm doing. So that when you decide, I want to buy that from this guy, you're not just buying that for a couple of $100, which is what it's worth, but you're buying a whole set for more than a couple of $100, because that's what you would have gotten back then. I'll probably give one away, and I'll probably sell 2, right? And by give one away, I mean to my brother, right? Nobody else really wants a reel-to-reel. So I'll probably gift one to my brother, along with a bunch of stuff, all of Dad's audio, and a bunch of stuff to play with, because that's where it's at, baby. And then I'll probably curate a really nice package for the one in the box, right? And I've still got the foam, I've still got the anti-static bag, I've got the manual. I just need to come up with some little bags and put in brand new Radio Shack cables. I already actually have cables still in the bags, brand new. So I'm going to curate stuff like in one of those kits. I'll put something like this. And this is a Radio Shack record tape cleaning cloths, right? Realistic, original cleaning wipes, still in the bags, all right? And I've got a bunch of this original realistic stuff still in the bags. So this is one of those things that'll go in that kit, with a microphone and headphones and literally whatever else I can gather together to put in a box to go with the box of the and then I'll probably at some point throw in, to try to curate a package from this catalog, right? It's like, okay, here's this stereo and here's these speakers and everything is, this is, you know, all polished up and working like new. You know, some of the little stereos, a couple of the little stereos I'm going to be giving away at the party, the reunion. I'm going to do a boom box. I got a really nice 1980s cassette boom box, Sony. That one's going to go. I've got a really nice, with some cassettes. It's going to have a box of cassettes that go with it, of the era. I'll do an 8-track, probably a couple of portable 8-track players, and each one of those will come with a box of 8 tracks. I'll do some household 8-track players, and those will come with shelves and racks and boxes of 8 tracks. And I'll probably sell a lot of 8 tracks, because I've got, you know, hundreds, maybe upwards of 1,000 8 tracks. So everywhere I look, sometimes there's just 8 tracks everywhere. And then I go out to places and I bring home another stack of 8 tracks. I brought home, you know, what is that, 2, 4, 6, you know, half a dozen or more 8 tracks the other day when I went out to a thrift shop. Why? Because they had them there. Nobody else was going to buy them or give a shit about them, so I brought them home. One of them's actually playable, which is weird. Which means it's probably been repaired in the last 10 or 20 years. Got some noise out here. Oh, well, the sun is out. I didn't realize the sun was out. You know what that means? It's only 6. Are you kidding me? It's only 6 o'clock? Oh, that's because I was up at 4. I rolled over and went to sleep facing away from the alarm, thinking, okay, the alarm's going to go off in 10 minutes. Let me get another 10 minutes in. And then when it went off, I spun around. I turned the alarm to snooze, but I got up. Usually I snooze it and then stay in bed for a couple of snoozes until about 4:20. And this morning I got up at 4 and I came out here, and luckily my video time machine had uploaded to YouTube and came out with thumbs up on quality control and copyright stuff, so I get to use the whole show. But then I'm sitting here going, oh shit, how long do I have until my show? 5 minutes? No. Try 25 minutes, because I didn't get out of bed at 4:20. I got out of bed at 4, and I'm like, oh crap. So that's when I decided to go ahead and put on War of the Worlds, which is 51 minutes long. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to start up and I'm going to do my show and do War of the Worlds. And that was fun. Technical difficulties kept popping up this morning. That's a bummer. But we've seemed to come through it. I hope that you've been checking out stuff on the channel, because I've been uploading a bunch of really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. And I've got so much cool stuff coming, you would not believe it. So now I have to go through and I have to curate everything, set everything aside that I'm going to be using for the week of Thanksgiving. And then take everything else, all the other movies, educational films, and compile them in one file, and then take all of the elements for Video Time Machine and stick them in another file. And this way it'll be easier to move stuff around, push and pull when I'm editing. It's like, okay, I need this, okay, I don't need that, I need this, I don't need that. And just kind of know exactly where to go to when I'm gathering up stuff to do an episode of something. And then I'll know exactly where to put that stuff when I'm done with it, so that I don't reuse it. Because that's one of my biggest bummers is, did I use this in an episode? But luckily I keep track of episodes and what's in the episode. So at some point I have to go through and write what elements are in this video time machine that I just uploaded, which means I just push play and I write down this, and then I fast forward to the next, and then I write down that, and then I fast forward to the next, and I write down that, and keep track of every single thing that's in the episodes. At some point, you know what? I thought about uploading the information in the description about the episode, the different artists and stuff that are in it, the different movies and commercials and stuff. And then I thought, you know what? Nah, it should be a surprise, right? People should show up not knowing what to expect. What are they going to see this time, right? And that's the fun part. So no, I'm not going to ruin the surprise by putting in the description so that you can decide, well, I don't want to watch that, you know. Nah, fuck that. Show up, watch it. If you don't want to watch it, turn it off. More elements.
Totally.
Yeah, getting everything in the correct place so that it's easy to access, right? And then being able to save everything from my channel on one hard drive. Get everything else onto the other one. Stuff in progress, elements, whatever, show stuff, live stuff, but everything on the hard drive, one external hard drive, should just have finished, uploaded, or finished unusable videos. Stuff that I've created, whether I uploaded it or not, it should all be on here. One file, and then be cataloged. I had been keeping track of everything that I've been uploading, and I've neglected it for about a month. So now I need to go back to that and have my list of YouTube videos here, and my catalog Word program here, and I just say, okay, where am I at? This is the last video that I uploaded. What's the video after that? And then I just go in order and I give them each a number so that I know exactly when I uploaded a video, what order it's in, what the video is, the description, the content, the time, all of that on one line for every single video that I've created and uploaded. And that will go in one file with from one all the way through to the current. And cataloging those is I don't want to put them all in one file where they're all like mixed up, right? I want to have all the movies in one file, all of the X-1s in one file, all of the Gildersleeves in one file. That is the better way to organize it. And then maybe have a file. Well, once you have the master catalog, then you'll know exactly in what order it is, but it should be easy to find. You know, if you want this show, you go to that show file. Bing, bang, boom. And in there, it should be in the title of the video. It should have its catalog number. Oh, it's windy again today. Lort, L-O-R-T, Lort. The wind is unbearable up here. Fucking tundra. All right, I gotta heat up this coffee. Totally. she don't want to go outside. It's too cold and windy.
Yeah, baby. Oh, yeah.
So. Young or old, old or young, the guy who started it should be hung. Vodo-dio, vodo-do-dio-do, vodo-do. Totally. Sits around all night long, seems crazy words to the same old song. Vodo-dio, vodo-do-dio-do, vodo-do. He'll have to stop it, yeah he must, or I'll just kill him, I'll kill him, and then I'll holler black bottom. Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah. Oh, Lord. These windy days, man, I don't like them. I hate them, in fact. I bloody hate them. Coffee. Coffee. Well, at least I got hot coffee, right? There's a plus. Perfecto, yeah. Okay, there's my video time machine. I'm going to view it on YouTube. Because it is not on this computer. It is muted. Good. Go ahead and open it up. And so we will go ahead and find some paper. I need paper. There we go. So, what are we doing here? We're doing a VTM, video time machine, for November the 15th, 2024, episode 9. And we are starting off with the VTM open. And then we are doing Harry Richmond putting on the Ritz. Alright, and that's how we do that. And let's skip ahead to what do we do? Looks like we've got the end, and we go to a VTM card. Yep. That's a video time machine. Right? Oh, do you know what it means to miss New Orleans? There you go. Billie Holiday. And Louis Armstrong. Do you know there we go, Orleans. There we go. And then let's see, I bet there's another video time card. Yeah. Oh, more after this break. And then we go to GoBots, commercials, GoBots, and then what's next? Oh, Cabbage Patch Twins. Ooh. Nice. Pillsbury cookie dough. There we go. Ryman with fries. McDonald's. Fries. And then I think we're doing a static click. Yep. Static click, and then Margie Hines. And then what are we doing after Margie? We're doing Helen Kane. And that's a click. 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 And the next one is Francis McCoy. And then Marjorie Babe Kane. Click to Chevy commercial. And that was who Chevrolet? Century Chevrolet, right. Oatmeal, Quaker instant grits. There we go. Gosh, that's wonderful. Quaker instant grits. Next, Burger King. Okay, so we got BK, 14 million. There we go. What the hell is this?
Oh, jeez. Aren't they cute? Little brush pals. Alright, what do they call those toys? Sweet Secrets. Cherry Coke. Cherry Coke what? Yeah, we'll just say Cherry Coke. Kids Club, that's right. BTM, we're back. And what do we got here? Let's go back here. Now for more. More. Betty Boop Masquerade. ATM card. And then this weird movie. Red Express. Red Mall Express? Red Mall Express. Steve Siegel. I wonder if it's the same one from my film group that I'm in. Could be. BTM. And then we've got these guys. Hinton? What the hell? I didn't get this guy's name here. Okay, music video of unknown origin. And what do we got next? We'll be right back. BTM. We'll be right back. Hot t-shirts. Trailer. Right.
run. Uh-huh. VTM. Tech diffs. And what do we got here? Technical difficulties. And what else? VTM is back, baby. Ain't she sweet? Music video. Mama, humana, hemana, momana, mama. VTM card. Felix. Felix pinches the pole. Alright, Felix. Love me some Felix. Alright, cheer up, Ted Weems. Oh wait, do I got a video? I think I do. I should have stuck a time machine or time card in there. That would have given me a few more seconds. Cheer up. Ted Weems. And his orchestra. Of course, something that I'm used to playing on someone I'm used to playing on the nighttime show. And then VTM close. And there. Now I have successfully recorded my show. And there's that. I try to stay organized. If I don't, it'll get out of control. I'm gonna be well over 900 videos by the end of this month. I should be upwards of 1,000 videos by the end of the year. So I have to keep track of everything, lest I repeat an upload. That would suck, which I've done before. Oh shit, I've done that already. Or where I skip something. That's always a bummer. Alright. Alright. So let's see. I'll tell you what, let's do a preview. Let's do a preview of what is going on Friday. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not the right way to do it. Alright, let's try it now. In these troubling days of a modern world gone mad, one man has the technology to make a difference in time and space.
baby. That's me. Hey. Totally, baby. Ooh, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Ooh. Super Nintendo. Commodore 64. All right, that is enough of that. And that's as much as I'm going to play.
That's it. You got to tune in Friday to see the rest. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
All right. So that takes care of a little bit of clerical work there. That's important stuff there, that clerical work. I am going to have to, at some point, do my catalog update and print. Weekly programming, I think, is the one that I want. And that would be here. I think that's the one that I want. Is that the one that I want? Nope. I don't know what I want. There's the nighttime stuff there, yeah. Radio shows. Anyway, I've got a small printout of catalog stuff somewhere. You know, in a book perhaps somewhere. Big monkey binder here. Could be. No, that's all the old X-1 that I've gone through. Some work that has to be done there. I'm going to say it's probably... Oh, maybe in a peachy folder. That could be it, or it could be in a drawer. Could be in a drawer. I don't see it. It's a drawer. Is it in a peachy? Is it in a peachy? My Elsinore Brothers peachy here. I'm not seeing it. Did I print it? I thought I printed a couple of pages of my catalog. I probably did and just put them in something else. Right. Anyways. Well, it'll bug me until I find it, so I'll probably have to keep looking for it at some point. But until then, good morning, cheers. Halfway through the show. At least I'm not ranting and raving about crazy stuff, right? Totally. Oh. All right, can I heat this up? Okay. Totally. Ah, got one of these shirts on. One of my new shirts. Catfish Corner, baby. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, baby. I got shirts. There's somebody who needs to send me her address so that I can send her her shirt. Because she won a shirt. And she needs to send me her address and shirt size. Hint, hint. Somebody. You know who you are. Life's too short for this kind of anger. So, get over it. I have. I got over it the moment after our last encounter via text. So, you know, shoot me a message. Give me your shirt size and address. And I will send it to you. I don't have any mediums or smalls. So there. Not yet. I'm hoping that when people start getting their shirts today and start posting photos, that they will instantly start gathering donations. You know, your authorized donation collector, right? There are 8 authorized donation collectors out there, I believe. Yep. And if we can get them to at least get 5 per, we're so in the pink, right? And especially if those are like coordinate with sizes that I actually have. Otherwise it'll go into back order stuff. So, which means getting down to the shirt place with a boatload of money and saying, okay, let's do more sizes this time. Let's do all of the sizes, 5 to 10 each per size. Let's finish up the run so we can continue and start working on the next 2 shirts. So, hopefully people will, at least the people that I sent these first shirts and these first donation packets. I tried to make it as easy on people as possible without going through the normal technical challenge channels that we have nowadays, right? The apps and the direct upload deposit thingies. I don't want to go that route. I can't. Financially, I can't do that. But what I can do is take stuff through the mail, right? Yeah. If you look over here, you see a cigar box on the shelf. That's where the money goes. It goes in there until it gets spent on shirts, and then eventually that box will just be filled with donation money for the event. And then I will literally go and get a cashier's check for a specific amount of money and send it to various people who will be in charge of different tasks, right? When it comes to paying the entertainment, I can do that. I can meet up with them in person and discuss it and give them their payment or their down payment or whatever it is they require. When it comes to like the Airbnb, I'm going to be sending a cashier's check to someone in the family, and they will be getting the vacation rental house that we need in their name, with their bank account. Most people can take like a $5,000 hit on their bank account, have it come in and go out. I can't even take a few $100 hit on my bank account, in or out, especially in. But yeah, I'm excited about shirts again. Excited about waking up, but excited about shirts. I'm still getting messages from people who are just finding out about the reunion, and they're excited, and I'm excited that they're excited. I wanted to go out to open mic last night because I was having technical difficulties with the show, so I didn't do a Minecraft show last night. And I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get to go to the open mic because they held it inside, which is kind of But because it was windy and cold, they held it inside. And from the picture I saw, people were there. And I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get to go see those people. But nonetheless, I had to sit here on my computer for 2 or 3 hours and create Friday's video time machine. So, while my personal life here in my family life takes precedent over YouTube, which means that when it comes to family, they're first, and then YouTube comes second. Now, when it comes to my personal social life, YouTube usually comes first because it requires a lot of my time. God, I hope to free up a lot of time over the holidays by pre-programming a whole bunch of shit. But I'm only permitted so many uploads per day. So in order to program months out, I literally have to be uploading videos every day. Every day I need to upload 5 to 7 videos every day. And if I do that, it takes me 3 days to upload a week's worth of content, not including live stuff. So if I can do that, upload 5 to 7 videos a day, then all I have to do is create holiday content and video time machines and live stuff, which gives me a lot of time. And hopefully more time to create more original content, which is my ultimate goal, is to put more of me into this channel. But, you know, that's the way it works. That's the way the ball bounces. That's the way the cookie crumbles, yeah? Yeah. That's the way the milk is spilt, yeah? Good to cry? You good to cry over your spilt milk? A little bit of boo-hoo for your milk? Your leche? Did you drop your leche?
Yeah, I did. Boo fucking who?
I don't know what's going on today. Tuesday in the household. The kid doesn't have class today except for tonight for an online class. She'll probably then spend the night working on homework because she has class on Wednesday, and she's been pretty relaxed about schoolwork because she's been kind of feeling a little under the weather. So she's going to be playing catch up for a couple of days, but she can handle it, and she knows she can handle it, and that's why she can slack off and take a day and just sit around and play video games, because she knows she can catch up, you know, and keep that grade average up. So first semester at a different school, university, it's a higher education, you have that learning curve thing where most people's grades go from way up here and then they kind of slack down a little bit before they come back up, getting used to the whole campus and scholastic requirements and all that academia shit. But I don't see that happening so much for her. Her workload is heavy. But like I said before, I think she's just a procrastinator, and she knows she can get it done. So she puts it off to the last minute, and then she works better under a crunch. And then she works better late at night. So, yeah. Pretty cool. I don't know where she's going to go with the education that she's getting. She may go in a completely different direction, or she might go right down the middle into psychology. Who knows? She might get done earning a bachelor's degree here and go back and try to earn a bachelor's degree in art. I would, I would rally for that rather than going on to a PhD right now. I think if she were to go back and get another bachelor's in something else, it would only help her in her eventual goal of getting a PhD, master's and a PhD. Right? Go back, get another PhD, go get your master's in psychology or art or both, major in one, minor in the other. And then maybe go back and get another bachelor's before you do your PhD. Right? She can do that. Fuck. She's a career student. It's, she's had, 15 years of being a student. That's more time that most of us spend in one job. And that's what she does. She knows it. She's not fond of school, but who's fond of work, right? I think that if she was to go back and get a bachelor's in art, I think then she would be in love with school all over again. Or maybe for the first time. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm going to try to nudge her in the direction of finishing with this university thing and going back to college for a semester and catching up so that she can go and then transfer again and do a bachelor's in art. Wouldn't that be awesome? She could come home for a couple of semesters, stay here, work at this college here, catching up on art requirements, history or math or whatever. She's got all that taken care of. She's got all the math and history and stuff. All she would need to do would be to go and take a couple of art type classes to prepare her for transfer for a bachelor's in art. That would be fucking awesome. In fact, I might look into that for her and call the campus. Call both campuses and talk to somebody. Because I want her to stay in school as long as she can possibly take it. Right? Because it's just better for her. Right? And then if I can nudge her into doing something that's for her, because she's a hell of an artist, but she's too responsible to follow the art thing 100%, right? She needs something reliable, like a psychology degree. Art isn't that all reliable financially. But if she can do both, right, then maybe she can help people through art, through animal contact, through wildlife. I mean, just try to combine a whole bunch of things into helping people, right? Because that's what psychology, for the most part is, right? Helping people. But to be able to do that with a bachelor's or master's in psychology and a bachelor's and or master's in art. Take some courses on dealing with children and animals, right? Maybe volunteer at a few places where you're hanging out with kids. Volunteer at a place where you're hanging out with old people or animals, right? Try to tie it all together. That would be awesome. One of my biggest dreams is, and probably always will be, was one of my father's dreams, and it was to have a big giant piece of property with a lot of little houses, tiny homes now, where you could have people, have an old person living in a tiny home here, and adjacent to that would be a young person who has nobody, just like that old person. And then between the two of them, they would care for a couple of animals that have nobody, right? And they would have a little piece of fenced-in yard for the animals, a little garden so that they could work together to grow food for each other, right? They would take meals together. They would take community meals with the other people in the main building. I mean, come on. I could create such a community that so many people would be jealous of, right? And that's kind of along the same lines. If my daughter could, I don't know, make that happen, I think it would make her very, very happy. And you start off with a couple of people, a couple of animals, and you know, have a main building, a main house for the entire community, and then have just a bunch of tiny homes in pairs all over the place. You know, little duplex-like tiny home pieces of property, nothing big, you know, a few hundred square feet of yard and garden and stuff, and a little greenhouse, and a little enclosed patio area to hang out together in. That would be really neat. And then we can connect people with animals and other people, and libraries and music room, and you know, a teaching center where some of the old people can pass on their knowledge to all the younger people. That would be great. Have like an S family, a support family, you know. A bunch of people just coming together to help each other out, you know. And they've got to be vetted. They've got to be vetted psychologically, mentally, emotionally. Yeah, you know, which of course, what that the whole psychology end of it comes into play. You know, you got animals, art, music, age differences, and all of that in between to create, you know, just a beautiful relationship. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. If I was going to win the lottery, that would be one of those things on that giant piece of property where my giant warehouse is. And inside the warehouse is where I would live in my own world with kind of the same thing, little tiny homes inside. Outside that warehouse would be pretty much the same thing, only on a grander scale and outdoors, in the elements. That would be so sweet. You know, right there. That's the lottery right there. That's my winnings. Just spend it all on investing in a community that is self-sufficient, and can grow slowly to take care of more and more people, and then becomes like a grassroots movement thing, you know, where more and more communities are creating these types of communities within their own neighborhoods and towns and stuff to help take care of everyone, you know. And then they're rather than sending their loved ones to like a retirement home, they're sending them to one of these small tiny home communities where they're now paired up with some animals and some young people and some jobs and teaching, you know. That seems more productive, you know, and I think more people would get more out of that than just going to a retirement home and playing golf and, you know, eating lunch and playing bingo, and you know, that's great, but you know, what about if that old person got up and had breakfast with the young person living next to them, and then they fed the dogs, and then they watered their plants, and then he got ready to go to a lecture that he was going to give to all the young people in the community? You know, and a lot of the elders in the community do the same thing every day. You know, today's Tuesday, it's my day to go in and teach. You know, it's history day, it's science day, it's music day, you know, and each adult is given a day to go in there, or a time of day to go in and teach and pass on their knowledge, you know. Everybody has jobs and duties, and it all revolves around just taking care of each other. you know, making stuff. You know, maybe 2 days a week we all sit together in the community hall and we make stuff that then once a week or once a month, it's taken out and sold to then further the advancement of the community, right? He's talking like a communist. No, I'm talking like a human. This is what tribes do, right? You go to an African tribe and you tell a bunch of kids, look, the first one who gets over there is going to win this basket of food, right? And so they all go arm in arm and they all trot over there together and they all win together and then they all sit down and they enjoy all of the food together, right? That's the kind of community I would love to create. Where you're never involved in one thing for yourself because you know the person next to you is going to give it their all for you and everyone else. You know, like in my family, I'm going to give until it hurts so bad that I can't fucking move anymore. And I'm just going to keep doing that. Because that's my job. And I think it's every community member's job to do that, just to keep going and do as much as you can for yourself, but for everyone else as well. And never think about yourself as being one. Think of yourself as being many. Don't be selfish. We've got enough selfishness out there. Wow, just about 7 o'clock, wrapping up hour 2. And then we're moving on into hour 3 here in the morning. Wow, November 12th. Now, December 12th, in 1 month, is going to be my parents' anniversary. The 12th of December. Now, I only remember, about 15, maybe 16 years of them being married. I don't remember when they finally separated. They didn't get divorced until like 10 years after that, but they separated like in the, I'm going to say 86. 86. So that would mean that they had been married about 18 years, right? I don't think they made it to 20. I know because I've been married longer than they were. In fact, I've been married longer than a lot of people. But then again, there's a lot of people from my day who got married a long time ago, and they're still married. They're still going strong. Yeah, John, Henry, Joyce and Bruce, Jim and Joanne. My good friend Andy, he got married back in 2013. He got married about 10 years ago, I believe. And he's still going strong. Yeah, I mean, wow. My sister, she got married a long time ago, and she's still going strong. And that's hard to do. That is. For anyone, let alone someone who came from where we came from. You know, we had to undergo a lot of deprogramming when we got into relationships, because I would assume that it was like that for my siblings, but when we went out into the world, we really had to deprogram from what we knew about the world and about life, because we had lived completely different from the way most people had lived. We had lived a nomadic gypsy type, underground, homeless, transient type lifestyle, and then to finally settle down and then hang out with people who were settled and had been settled their whole lives. That was weird, you know. So much so that when I became homeless, I could only stay with a family for a few months, and then I was like, I need to move on, man. I would pick up and go homeless or go stay back with my family, and then move on to another friend or friend's family and hang out with them for a while, because I just could not You know, it wasn't in my blood to sit still. And that's what is good about this YouTube thing, because we've been in one spot for so long now that I feel like I've felt like I need to get up and move, right? Physically, I can't do that anymore. I'm not one that's going to, you know, keep moving around, packing U-hauls and shit like that. Boxing, and I'm done with that, you know. So this YouTube has really been a help, because I can go places. I can feel like I'm someplace else. And that's helped that Jones, that I need to take a trip, Jones. You know, I need to go somewhere. I'm tired of this place. I need to go someplace new. You know, and so I can go new places all the time. And with all the stuff, I never had all of this stuff, right? It's only the last few years that I've gathered all of this stuff here. My house used to be pretty Spartan. A TV, that was our radio, that was our music, that was our movies, that was I mean, it was like that, a DVD player. That was all we had in the house. And now I'm just surrounded by books and tapes and records and stuff and past. So now it's like I can go places just sitting here. Not only on the computer, on the internet, on the TV, through movies and tapes and books and everything here. It just takes me places. Trucking. But it was actually my father passing away that started all of this whole movement of mine to keep moving forward into the past, right? I say the darndest things, don't I? Yeah. Fucking A, man. Fucking A. Fucking A. Oh, I've got so many. I've had to write down a lot of most of the stuff that I've downloaded because a lot of times in the file name it doesn't have the date. Sometimes it does, but most times it doesn't. So, I mean, from 1987 back to 1940, 30, I mean, we're going all over the place. 88. There you go, 1988. There's just a ton of stuff. Yeah. It's great. It's great. It's great. But I've got to try to pull it all together in one spot. That's my bummer, is that I haven't been keeping track of. Well, I mean, I know where the stuff is. It can only be in a couple of places, right? So I need to create file 1, educational films, so that I can pull from that. And then when I'm done, it's like, okay, I'm going to collect stuff for an episode, or I'm going to put a movie together to upload. And then when I upload it, I move that raw file over and put it with the finished video and the graphics that go with it, and file that. I don't need to keep all that information. The graphics I can lose, and the raw video files I can lose. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking the raw video files, putting them onto into small manageable files, and burning them onto disk. I've already done a half dozen files, and then deleted those movies from my channel. I mean, not my channel, my computer, to free up memory, because I've only got so much memory, right? So at some point, it'll be easy to go through and say, okay, I can take all of the sound files from old-time radio and put them onto disk and catalog them, save them, archive them. The videos that I have created from those audio files, I can have those on hard drive and make those accessible to view and listen to and share. They're pretty hefty files, but as time progresses, it'll be easy to share those and work with those files because memory just doubles every 18 months. We've kind of plateaued a little bit, but it's still, we're still making it easier and easier to work with larger and larger chunks of data. Yes, sirree. Okay, time to warm up the coffee, pack a bowl, and plan the day.
Oh my god, no way. Oh my god. Like, totally for sure, you know.
Yeah, totally for sure, man. It's fucking gnarly. Excellent, you know. It's totally excellent, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Gag me with your daddy's dick. Totally. Oh my god. Did he really say that? Oh my god. Tell Margie she's like nasty. She's totally nasty.
You tell yourself, man. I ain't talking to her. She's always talking about your daddy's dick.
Aw, jeez. Why do these kids have to talk like that? God, it makes me red in the face.
Marge, they're getting weird again.
Leave them alone, Harry. They're just kids.
Ah, jeez. Hot. That is hot stuff right there. Hot, baby. I'm going in. I'm going in.
Excellent.
Yeah. Maybe I will go after the fact and upload descriptions of each video. You know, I don't have room. I need to create a new description keyword list. 5,000 words. 5,000 characters, sorry. Including spaces. So, if I can come up with a better use of my keyword list, I can create more room to fit descriptions of stuff in. Yeah. I need I need room to describe the video, but then also in that I need room for my channel's keyword list, right? And I need to just kind of edit that down to a couple thousand words, a couple thousand characters. Yeah. So let's see, winter is upon us. So I'm going to say I better get back out into the yard and deal with storing some stuff out in the yard. Right? Yeah, because it's gonna wind and rain is gonna hit us hard. The wind is already happening, but I don't think there's anything in my yard that's gonna blow away at this point. At least I hope not. I'm probably wrong, but because it'll be like in between these mobiles is like a wind tunnel. It gets super fast and super strong down in between, down our little alleys and streets and stuff. It just pushes and then condenses into a smaller space and gets stronger. And we've got, you know, old trees and limbs and old buildings and stuff. So, and then people, you know, people are people. So they leave their shit in their yards, and then all of a sudden the wind comes and just picks everything up and spreads it all over. I love my little yard. I wish I could physically be able to get out there more and do stuff. I think it's just a matter of training myself to take on more and more jobs every day. And I think changing my diet is going to help. I think if I give up the coffee, give up the sugar, maybe try giving up gluten, I don't fucking know, and see if that does something to help. And just try to switch over to a more natural diet and try to get away from the processed crap that I've been doing. We eat a lot of homemade foods from scratch, but we also do a lot of processed foods out of the box, out of the can, fast foods and whatnot. My daughter's really good about her diet. She'll say, no, we've had too much of this crap. We need to move on and do something else. I don't want this anymore. You know, and that takes a lot of courage to decide, no, we're not doing this anymore. She decided when she was in, before junior high, I think, it was about junior high, she quit soda. She stopped drinking any kind of carbonated soft drink. The only thing she drinks is juice, milk, water. That's it. Whole juices, clean water, and fresh milk. And that is the only stuff the only liquids that she puts into her body, right? And I'm like, wow, you know, it doesn't just take willpower, it takes strength of character to make those decisions at a young age, right? She's blown me away since the time she was first put on clothes and said, I'm ready to go to school, and then jumped on the bus by herself, right? And was so happy to go to school. And then from then on has just been, you know, handling it. Yeah. So she's, you know, all that I ever hoped to be, without even trying or forcing her to be. She's become everything that I've wanted to be. So far, she's only 20, right? She graduated high school, right? She went to one school district her entire school career. That's something I never got to do. You know, she graduated every school. She went 1st through 6th at one school. She went to junior high at one school. She went to high school at one school. She went to college at one school. She's at university. She's done all of this in the same county, in the same school district. You know, yeah, I can do this because we gave up a lot to make sure that happened. We gave up the opportunity to work and move and do other things just so we could stay here in this little community and make sure that she could have the opportunity to keep going forward rather than bouncing around like I had to do. I don't think she could have handled it well if she had to keep moving around and losing friends and changing addresses and new teachers and stuff. No, I didn't handle it well, and she's my daughter, so I know that she was not going to handle it well. So much so that she's handled it so well having the opportunities that she's had and that she has, right? She's just taken it exactly the way I hoped, and more so. I love you, Natalie. Always have and always will, sweetheart. So proud of you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, baby.
Let's see, we're going to do yearbook stuff, commercials for shirts, but let's also do commercials. All right, yeah, yearbook commercial from ads for shirts. Totally. Ow. Dummy. Don't do that with your neck. You're not young anymore. But wouldn't that be neat? You're watching a commercial, an old vintage retro looking commercial for a store, a shop, an establishment way back when that's no longer around. But when you're done watching that commercial, you can get the t-shirt. And be sure to order the t-shirt, right? Like if there was a commercial for Catfish Corner. If it was still there, I could go there and shoot a commercial for it. Even if it wasn't, because for a long time, the pond where you could fish from was there. And it was just this big hollow concrete block sitting on top of the ground. That's all it was. And you could just walk up and throw your line into it, pull out a catfish, and that's how it was. But then that block sat there into the 80s, I think, before it was finally yanked down when they did when they got rid of the swap meet and did the whole gentrification started. But that would be neat to do a commercial for an old thing that's not there any longer, and something really, really tasteful and fun and funny. And then say, hey, and you can get to be sure to write for the t-shirt, you know, and then do that. Do a whole, here's the address to write to. Because that's how it would have been back then. They would have just flashed up a P.O. box, you know. For more information, write to. Yeah. So that'll be kind of funny. That'll be kind of funny. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be funny? Make people take up pen and paper and write a letter, or write on a little postcard. Send me a postcard with your information on it, and I will send you, or send me a self-addressed stamped envelope. That's right. That's the way it worked. You send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, just like I made. Right? Here's a self-addressed stamped envelope with my address on it. And I'm sending these out to people so that they can send me stuff back, right? So if you want me to send you something, send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I will send you a catalog of t-shirts and a way to donate, right? If you are interested in going to the party, attending, or helping out in any way, that's what the whole donation thing is for. It's not, you know, it's the bureaucracy behind it is to generate more t-shirts and eventually a whole surplus of money for the party. That's the bureaucracy behind it in a nutshell. So if we can just generate a lot of, you know, hey, did you hear about, you know, I think that and the shirts are going to be enough to make this thing go. So shirt commercials should be cool, like Catfish Corner, you know. Something animated would be great if I knew someone who could animate me 20 seconds of fishing at the old Catfish Corner, right? Or driving go-karts around the old go-kart track at the Greasy Spoon back in the day, right? Then that would have a great T-shirt for it. Do some real-life commercials. Do some stick figure animation, stuff that would be vintage-like, stuff they would have done back then, right?
Yeah, baby.
I was just thinking there's a couple of people that I know from YouTube, and one of them actually does animation. It's very rudimentary and so awesome that I think it would be very cool to try to use something like that for a commercial. You know, a funny little humanoid-looking character, human characteristics, but looking very rudimentary. You know, a nose and eyeballs on a head. Nothing really fancy. Something you would have seen back in the 70s. You know, big eyebrows, a big nose, and a big mustache on a big round head, and maybe a big fedora, you know, and then a white suit. You know, a little guy shuffling around. Did I just describe Colonel Sanders? Shit, I did. There you go. So, you know, really basic animation stuff. Anybody out there knows a little bit about animation, I'd love to work with you and come up with some cool stuff to get more donations rolling in. Ah, crap. Who the hell is that? Another booking, February. Couple nights. Great. That's fantastic. If we can just keep it coming in a little bit at a time, just all we need is enough, you know. I'm not greedy. Just enough to take care of the bills and enough to put a little aside for a rainy day. That's it. And to keep my daughter from having to spend her savings, because when she gets done with school, no matter how long it takes, she should be able to, rather than go into debt up to her eyeballs, right, with loans and financial aid stuff. She does financial aid, but she's not allowed to borrow any money. Make do with what they give you. And she does so well that she actually has a little surplus she can stash away, take herself on little concert trips and stuff. So that's good. She's rewarding herself for the work that she's doing and has been doing for, 15 years now. School is hard, and she knows it's hard, and it's not easy, and it's not fun, but she keeps doing it, and that is, once again, strength of character. So I'm hoping that when she gets done, she'll have the means by which to set herself up in the direction that she's decided she wants to go in, and maybe, a little car or a little house or some kind of dwelling. Nowadays, a tiny home, a motorhome, a van, a travel trailer, these are all options. They want to take these options away from us because they want us all to be in these big giant buildings filled with people, and they want to keep these open lands to themselves so they can sell back the natural resources to us. But, for the most part, the opportunity to live out in the world rather than stuffed into a city somewhere. I don't know how long that opportunity is going to be around, but I hope that she has the chance to have that opportunity to, you know, live on a little piece of property somewhere in a little home with some animals and some family and stuff around, and know that it's hers, you know, and she can decide what to do with it, where to go with it, how to utilize it. And if I can in any way get her to that point, even if it's just by staying behind her and making sure that she's got everything she needs to go to school, right? Even if all I'm doing is making lunch and giving rides, if that's what it takes to make things easy and paying the bills, you know, three can live just as cheap or cheaper than two, right? Isn't that the way it is? Two can live just as cheap as one. But that's true. I mean, it's not difficult to extend out to a third or fourth or fifth person, depending on how much is coming in. And while we don't require her to pay any bills, she often helps out, buying dinners, buying groceries, paying bills, that kind of stuff, because she knows the responsibility behind being an adult, and she offers up herself to help out in many ways. So our job is just to make sure that she keeps going forward and make sure that she has not the easiest road, but the best opportunity to make it happen. So if that means, you know, living dirt cheap so she can get financial aid and medical stuff, and us as well, you know, then so be it. Because working a regular 9-to-5 job, busting my ass for an hourly wage, I could never take care of that and bills and rent type stuff and paying the forced health insurance thing, because I can't afford that. It was like every year I'm going to get hit, and I'm not going to get my tax money, and my DMV stuff is going to get hit because I just can't buy health insurance, right? And they hit you. They fucking hit you. If you don't bring in proof that you have health insurance during your taxes, they penalize you. And that's wrong. That is so wrong, the United States government. You fucking suck. Everybody should have the opportunity to choose for themselves if they want to be involved in that fucking scam. And now we have no choice. So what do you get? You get a lot of people collecting Medi-Cal and social services just to get health insurance. You know, people have gone homeless because they can't afford to do this and that and this and all this bullshit. So they just say, fuck it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'd rather live in my car and pay the few bills that I have than to have to fucking deal with that bullshit, right? And they just run and they hide. People drive cars that are uninsured and unregistered because they know if they start doing that, the government, the DMV, all these entities start coming after you with their hands out, all these bureaucracies. And if you don't put something in their hands, they penalize you. That's it. That's the way it works. You know? So you take advantage of the system, the way the system is built, and you be unable to afford that. And if you're unable to afford that, they have to give you something else. They have to give you an affordable plan. They have to give you something for free, because you just can't. You can't do this and this and this and that, right? You can barely do this, let alone this and this and this and that. So, and if you can prove that, which it's quite fucking obvious, you know, we live in goddamn squalor because of it, then what do? You suck hind tit and you take what they give you. Because you can't afford the bullshit the way they've got it set up. It sucks. I mean, I wanted so much more, and I had the jobs to get it, but they kept tacking on all this extra bullshit. The more money you made, the more they stuck their fucking hands into your pockets, right? And I just could never get ahead. If I tried to start my own business, they would just rape you, right? And you finally have to, like, I ran a handyman business under the table for like a decade because I couldn't afford to work with idiots and make that little fucking wage and survive. And I couldn't afford to start my own company above board and go through all of that bureaucratic licensing bullshit. So I had to go the path that most people take, an under the table business, you know? And you make yourself your little business cards and your phone number and your work stuff, and you pass those out and you hang them up in places, and hope you don't get fucked with, and hope you don't get a customer that wants to fuck with you. Well, I ain't gonna pay you and I'm gonna report you. And then you just, you know, smile and walk away and give them a fucking freebie and hope you don't get fucked with, right? And I've had to do that a few times because of some fucking assholes who just know they can take advantage of a little guy. Oh, if I ever see that bastard again. Oh. Motherfucker. Yeah. So what do you do? What the fuck do you do? You just try to survive. And we got to the point to where it's, look, our daughter has to have this, and, you know, in order to get that, I have to work X amount plus, because if you're working, you're required to have all of this extra shit for society's purposes, for the government's purposes, right? And it just costs way too much money. So you have to settle for this. I was like, okay, fine. You know what? I'm not doing under the table. I'm not working for this. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to work a small job, you know, report my income, do my taxes, and play fair, but keep it low. You know, if you're going to, if I'm going to work up here and you're going to require all of this excess shit, which is going to kill me, then no, I'm not going to work up there. I'm going to work down here. This is as much as I'm going to do because that's the bare minimum that we need to live, period. I don't need a lot. Look at the crap that I have around me. It's like pennies on the dollar for this garbage because nobody wants it. Nobody wants stacks of TV guides. They were giving that shit away. These records, fucking giving them away. You know, books, box of books from a fucking swap meet. You know, 50 cents for the box. Just get it out of here. And it can become my life rather than having a big giant bank account and spending, right? Spending just gets you more spending. That's all it does. It just gets you used to putting output, you know? We don't do that no more. We used to do that. I used to have credit cards and payments and car payments and just all kinds of crap. And I just got burned. I just got burned on having to work with idiots and assholes that I didn't like just so that I could pay the fucking bills, you know? How many people do we work with in our lives that we just would never have as a friend, yet we're forced to be with every day? Oh. Yeah. God, I got sick of that. Now I work with one person. I work with my wife. My wife and I, we go out, we work together, clean houses, come home, live together. Pfft, I couldn't ask for anything better, right? Oh, there she is. Oh, look. It's about 25 minutes to the end of the show. And, oh, I got a dog awake. I know, Sam. Here you go. It's Ollie. He's right there. Hi, Ollie. Good morning, Ollie. I know, I'm doing my show. I don't know what Mom's got going on today. Oh, I put together a little list. Cutie. I brought home the box springs for this mattress, so I think that's going over today. We're going to take him his new bed. That'll be sweet. That will be sweet. I wonder if we have a new set of sheets for it. That would be nice too. New sheets, maybe new pillowcases, or at least something new and different, right? Cleaned. That would be nice. So she could go over there and we could set it up and make the new bed and everything. Yeah. So let's see. She bought us a couple of new pillows for our house guest, and we were just going to bag them up and put them away. But maybe I'll suggest that we donate them to our neighbor. That'd be nice. Yeah. Yeah. Well, crap. Thanksgiving's coming up in a couple of weeks. It's just a couple of weeks away. We have a turkey, but that's all. I like the food on Thanksgiving. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving the way others do, but I do love the food. So that's a tradition. Us hanging out together that day, watching movies, listening to music, kind of being together, that's what it means to me. And if you'll watch my channel that week and Thanksgiving Day, you'll see a lot of Native American study stuff, because that's kind of what the holiday should mean. We should be paying homage and tribute to the people of this country who we wronged when we came here. And by we, I mean the Anglos, and of course I am, I don't know why or how or from where, but, you know, I'm not responsible. But I think that had it happened differently, boy, the face of this country would look different. Had we come here and actually practiced what we preached about freedom of religion and freedom of this and that, we would have lived side by side with these other people, right, rather than destroy them. I don't know why I keep saying we. You know, maybe I was back then, you know, I don't know. Who knows? Do you believe in reincarnation? I don't know if I do. I kind of, sometimes I feel like I might have lived in another time, in another place, as another person. But, you know, that could be, you know, a book I read or a movie I saw. Who knows? Is it possible? Ooh, the trash man. It's the trash man. It's the trash man. It's the trash man, yeah. So let's see. Yes, I am going to have to work on this list for sure today. It's got a bunch of must-do stuff on it. If I can postpone jury duty before I get there, that'd be great. Dental procedure is still up in the air, so I'll probably try to call this week and find out. Might as well write that down here. And I might have gotten something in the mail already. Alright. Well, that's a pretty good list of stuff to do. Sheesh, I should get started. Bye. Dearly. Trash man's gonna come driving by any time. comes. Wow, something was rattling. Wow. He doesn't even cast a shadow. The sun is so high now, it doesn't even cast a shadow in the window when he goes by. Doesn't that suck? It's my favorite part of the morning. The trash man. Oh, it's the trash man. Totally. See? Even Sam's up and excited. Not. He's happy because Mom's awake. Can to eat up my coffee and talk to the missus. Back in a flash. I'm back, baby. What's going down, clown? So, yeah, the mom's awake and drinking coffee. I got a bit left. I'll probably sit in there and drink coffee and talk to Mama. I got a list of stuff to do today. So, getting started on this list is important. The one thing that's not on this list is this bed and the mattress here and the box spring in my van. So at some point today that needs to come out and go next door to the neighbor. We're going to send this set of sheets over there. She said that the ladies who came over to do the cleaning brought new pillows and sheets and pillowcases and that kind of stuff. So we're just kind of replacing the mattress and box springs. So we'll do that and get that out of my hair. And gosh, I hope it's easy to get into that bedroom in there. Maybe we'll see if we can get, because my back's not so good about, in fact, I told her last night, I said, remind me to stop lifting stuff. I said we were out there in the yard and I lifted something up with one arm and it felt like someone was squeezing me here with a vice, right? And then doing that box spring into my van, which was really, really light. I got a pain all along here and down the front and the back here. So, yeah, I need to cut out doing that kind of stuff as if I were 20 years younger, because I ain't. Come on, Bessie, come on. You want to go outside? You want to go outside? You want food? You want food? That's what she wants. She squinted when I said food. Just a tiny bit of a squint. All right. You know what, dog? You'll just have to wait. My show's almost over. And then squint at me again, and I'll get you some food, okay? All right? So you just wait 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That's all you got to do. And then we'll get you some chow. She's like, okay, 10 minutes. Is it over? Is 10 minutes up yet? 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 I'm a dog. I don't know time, dummy. Alrighty. Let's see. Where's the other bag? Here we go. Let's do this one instead, because I'm moving on up, moving on up. Yeah. 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 I don't want to get copyrighted. Kidding. Are you kidding? Yeah, I'm kidding. They're going to copyright you for singing a theme song, are they? Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. Crap. Alright, well, I'm a blithering idiot. But then I've always been. Salut. Salut. You had a little sneeze? A little sneeze? Totally. Alright. Let's see. Let us see. Let's see. Yeah, baby, that's it. That's it, baby. Hi. There's nobody here but you. You come up here. Come on up here. You can come up and wait. You can wait for a little while. I guess not, but you'll have to. So yeah, let's see. A lot of educational films to upload. A lot on my list of things to do today. 2 post-its long. A lot of it is research. I got some outside shit I need to do. Arr. So she's now standing on the other side of my console here, between the computer and the monitor, right where I can see her. I have no choice but looking the direction that I've been looking in. She knows that if she stands right where I'm looking, I have no choice but to look at her. She's pretty smart. So now she's just kind of sitting there waiting for me to acknowledge my understanding of what it is that she wants. I already know what you want, but you have to be patient and wait. You want to go in the bedroom? I know what you want. You want some food. But I can't. I'm not done yet. I know. Tail wags. Eyes perk up. I know. I get it. You're always eating. So it's okay for you to learn patience and learn how to wait. Right? Wait until 8. That's it. That's my motto with the food. Wait until 8. Shut up. It is not. You just made that shut up. Alright, I did. What you going to do about it? You want to fight about it? Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I had too much sleep last night. No wonder I shot up at 4 in the morning straight out of bed without snoozing. I'm like, I gotta get up. I got stuff to do. So hopefully I can get to bed again early tonight and keep it up all week. Yeah. Yep. All right. Forget about it. It's trash. You can't have it. Let's see. We'll go ahead and cue up the end credits here. And I think what I'm going to have to do is remove everything from my desktop on this computer and move it to the external hard drive, and then create links to the stuff on the external hard drive, and then just keep that one external hard drive always in that machine, so it becomes its regular memory, right? And then keep one over here. So I'm definitely going to have to do the memory shuffle and bring them both over to here and wiggle stuff around, maybe even do some disk burning. I just looked up and saw my DVD burner here, so I'll plug that puppy in and burn off some of these educational films and shorts and stuff that I've already used, and just get rid of the raw data. Keep the finished products, but get rid of the raw data. That will save a little bit of memory, a lot in the long run, but a little bit at a time. 4.3 gigabytes about per DVD of raw data. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But I need to free up a lot of memory on this older 2 gigabytes or 2 terabytes. Sorry, I don't know why I do that. My 2 terabyte external, and move it over to my 4 terabyte, because that's where I want to store most of it anyway. And eventually I'll get that that other hard drive. That'll be nice. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna bag it on out of here, because if I don't, I'll just keep rambling, and I got shit to do, and I yeah, I gotta get something done, right? Yeah, baby. So let's see, Tuesday. So tune in tomorrow for another exciting episode of me going blah, 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 right? And be sure to tune in all throughout the day, 5 days a week, for more content, radio shows, and educational films. Be sure to tune in on the holidays for holiday content and more stuff, and perhaps live holiday shows. Yeah, funny, funny, funny. We'll do some more reading on Thanksgiving. We'll read some Thanksgiving stuff. We'll read some stuff out of the Encyclopedia, and we'll read us a Thanksgiving Day story. Same thing on Christmas. Encyclopedia, story. And we'll listen to some old-time radio, and we'll watch some Video Time Machine specifically for that holiday. It'll be a blast. So, yeah, I will be back mañana. So everybody, you know what to do. Take care.
Take care of yourselves out there, all right? I'm on a cutest stuff up here. And, yeah. Check, check, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello, does this thing on? All right, people, you know what to do. Be kind, spread peace and love. Do something for yourself, but do something for a stranger. Do something for a neighbor. Why? Because we're not alone in this world. All right, but most especially, you know what to do. Stay weird, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody gonna do it for you, baby. All right, love ya, adios, and I will see you on the flip-flop. Bye now.